So what do you think? Do they look like they're getting more comfortable?
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
It's 6:35 a.m. and I woke up a little while ago and I looked at the security camera footage, and the cats outside, the babies, are looking for food. They're trying to get into the automatic feeder the way that the raccoons try to get into it. So I just put a plate of food out. It's some of the homemade raw food I made for them and some dry food. And this little one, Ziggy, was near the driveway on the other side of the patio, and it saw me put the food down, and I came inside. The minute I came inside, it went running across the patio to get to the food. I was like, oh, that's interesting. This is like the first time I've seen that, so it's obviously very hungry. Now, they did eat dinner last night, but as the days are getting shorter, their dinner is getting earlier and earlier every day. So it's been quite a while since they've had dinner, almost 12 hours. And the nights are getting cooler, so they're burning more calories in the cooler weather. I hope this one is okay and not dealing with mouth issues, because it keeps eating and then jumping away from the food. Unless there are bugs out there. There's usually a bunch of bugs out there. Now the food might still be kind of cold also, because it was completely frozen about 7 or 8 hours ago, and it does take a long time. Look at this. Look at this. So Boo is right below me. Hello. 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 Looking at Boo. Hello. What I might do, I might grab a can of Friskies and put that out, because the Friskies is room temperature, and the cats might like it better. Here's Stella. Stella woke me up also. Another thing I wanted to mention is that last night I found out that the fox that came around has mange, and it has it pretty bad, because I was looking at the security camera footage and I was like, this fox has no fur in its tail. Its tail almost looks like the tail of a possum. And so I started researching that, and then I found out that that's an issue when a fox has mange. And I also noticed that the fox looked like it had like a bunch of crustiness around its face, like around its head. I thought maybe because the fox was out in the rain, but then I realized that was another symptom of mange also. So the poor fox is sick, and the fact that it's coming around my yard looking for food is like another symptom of a fox with mange. I looked into it, and people say that you can give the fox ivermectin. You can actually inject it into hard-boiled eggs, and the foxes will eat it. The cats won't eat it, but foxes will eat that, and over time it helps to heal them. If they're too far gone, and if their internal organs are starting to fail, then you really can't do anything. But if they're not that far gone, then if they eat the ivermectin, then it could help them recover. So I'm going to look into that today. They say you could buy it on Amazon, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it being sold at Tractor Supply, because it is for livestock, but it is supposed to be very helpful with regards to mange in foxes. So I'm going to look into that today. It's on my list of things to do. Like, I need another thing to do or another sick animal to deal with. But yeah, they also say you could inject it into hot dogs, and the foxes will eat those, but cats will eat those too. So I'm trying to find something that I could put it in that cats won't eat. They also say foxes have a sweet tooth, so you could inject it into a cookie or something, they'll eat it. So the issue is that whatever foxes eat, raccoons are also going to eat, potentially also possums and skunks. So I don't know. Like, I couldn't just put it out and wait for the fox to come by, because I haven't seen a fox in my yard in several weeks. But if the fox does return, and if it does become a nightly visitor, then that's when I would put it out. I'd probably just get it to have, and then if the fox returns, put it out. It's 6:45 and there's now 2 plates of food out. So the plate on the right has a can of Friskies and the plate on the left has homemade raw food with some crunchies on top. And we'll see if the cats come back. We have to remember the cats could be getting food somewhere else, or they could be out hunting right now. So this is just kind of like backup food for them. And yeah, so they have plenty of food. And this is how the feeder and the table survived the night. So the table's looking a little bit warped. I got to see what's going on with that. Maybe because the patio's not exactly flat, or it could be because the raccoons really tried to attack the feeder last night. So they were trying to get in through the bowl, and they were on top. So they tried at the same time. There's one trying to get in the bowl, and there's one on top trying to move those pavers. So far, it looks like that setup is good and is able to keep them out of the food. They are still sticking their paws up, trying to get, to the food in the machine, but they're not having any luck. So that's good, because it was pretty much an unending supply of raccoons the previous night. I don't need like 20 or 30 raccoons every night coming in thinking they're gonna just take over the patio and eat all the food. It is 5 p.m. and there is the paper bowl that I put a hard-boiled egg in several hours ago. So I took a ride up to Tractor Supply to buy some medicine for the fox with mange, and it's like a 40-minute ride to get there. And I looked around, went to Aldi next door, then drove back. So all totaled more than 2 hours. And I just got back and I said, let me check to see if the hard-boiled egg is in the bowl, and it's not in the bowl. And I don't know where it is. I don't see any sign of it anywhere. I don't see like bits of half-eaten egg anywhere. I would assume if the cats were going to eat it, there would be some kind of debris from it. Usually a cat's not going to swallow a hard-boiled egg whole. I've never heard of a cat doing that. So I don't know what happened to the egg. I have no idea. I looked at the security camera footage, and in one video the egg is still in the bowl. In the next video, cats are walking around, there's no egg in the bowl. So I don't know if another animal showed up and ate it, or another animal showed up and took it away somewhere, or I don't know. I have no idea where it is. Meanwhile, as I'm filming the bowl, this is what Ziggy's doing, just hanging out on the grass. And she was kind of checking me out as I was walking around unloading the car. She was just hanging out near the feeding table. So she's looking for some food. And look at what's going on back there. So there were 2 or 3 other cats back there in the back corner. I don't know if this is Richard or Ringo. It's hard to tell from the front. Sometimes they look really, really similar. So I'm gonna go inside and put some food out for the cats. I'm gonna cut up some raw chicken wings. That looks like Ringo. I'm gonna cut up some raw chicken wings, or maybe it's the other tabby with like the ring design on the side of the fur, like a classic tabby. What I was saying was I'm gonna go give them some food, also cut up some chicken wings, some raw chicken wings, see if they like that. Hey Ziggy, where's the egg at? Where's the egg at? Where's the egg at? Do you see the egg anywhere? Where'd you guys put it? Did you eat it? Did you eat the egg? Did you eat the egg, Ziggy? Did you eat the egg, Ziggy? Ziggy, did you eat the egg? I'm trying to get a good look at her face to see if she has any signs of mange, the way that the fox did. Oh look, there's Richard. See him there? Look, he's over here, right here. That's little Richard. And there's Ziggy. They're just checking me out. I'm pretty close to them. I'm probably 5 or 6 feet away. This is like the closest that I've been with the camera. And then who's that in the back? I don't know who that. That's the new one. That's the new one in the back. What's his name? Or her name? Is it a girl? Maybe its name is Max. Max could be like for a girl or a boy, right? Is that Max? Ziggy? Richard? They're blinking at me. They look itchy because there's a bunch of flies, the little gnats. Hello. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys some food, okay? I'm gonna give you guys some food, okay? Can I get closer? No. It's 5:10 p.m. I just put plates of food together, and look at what's going on here. Right in the middle of the patio, Ziggy's all stretched out, and Boo's looking. Boo's below me right now. Here's Boo. He's like, what's going on? The inside cats want dinner also. And there's Richard. He moved over on the patio also. He's behind that piece of wood. So what do you think? Do they look like they're getting more comfortable? I did some more research today with regards to getting them spayed and neutered. I reached out to some local people that I know to find out some information. Unfortunately, what they suggested is no longer a possibility, so I had to update them. It seems that they haven't been TNRing or spaying and neutering in a little while, and so the services that they used are no longer options. So as I mentioned yesterday, it should not be this difficult and time-consuming just to find a vet or a service that will help to spay and neuter feral cats. So here's Ziggy, Goldie, and little Richard. They're watching me. And I just put 2 platters of food down under the table. So on the right, we have some wholehearted beef pate. The inside cats don't like it. And there's a chicken wing in the middle, and then there's dry food around the edges. And on the left is the homemade raw food that I made for the cats outside, with some dry food and also a chicken wing in the middle. And we'll see what they eat. I don't know if they're going to eat the wings. They might not, but look how close I am right now. I'm probably only 3 feet away. I'm crouched down to get a good view. Oh, look at this. There's another one that just showed up. So they're going straight for the homemade raw food. That's what they're licking up. So there's 3 here. Ringo and his twin. I have to find a name for the other one. Okay guys, I'm gonna go in. So I believe Ringo is the one sitting next to Goldie. And I don't know who the other one is yet. I think it's a girl. And she has more like brown fur along with the gray and the black. Whereas he is mostly just gray and black. And she's like brown, gray, and black. Okay, I'm gonna go in. I'll go in so you guys can eat, okay? See, they're afraid of me. I just came inside and now they're all eating. I still want to know what happened with that hard-boiled egg. So I did a little bit more research on how to get medicine into the fox, and they say not to put bait out like the first night. Well, first of all, I don't even know if the fox is going to come back tonight because it doesn't come by every night, or at least it hasn't. So they say, you know, wait a few days until you know a routine that is established, until you recognize a routine that's established as far as the fox eating food at certain times. And then putting, oh, someone took the chicken wing. The tortie, I don't know if that's Goldie. Oh yeah, Goldie. Goldie took the chicken wing. She took it. And Ziggy, I'm thinking maybe Ziggy has some kind of mouth problem because she'll like start eating and then she'll like back away. As if like maybe it's hurting her. Okay, so the 3 under the table are eating. I don't know where Ringo took the I don't know where Goldie took the chicken wing to. So the three under the table are all gathered around the homemade food. It looks like they ate that first. Maybe now they're working on some of the crunchies on that plate, and the chicken wing is still on that plate. And I don't know where Goldie went. She just kind of left. I don't know if that name's going to stick to her or not. I hope Ziggy can eat and is not having problems with her mouth. It could just be an issue with like the bees or the bugs that are flying around. See, like she didn't even touch the food, but there's like bees flying around it. You okay? You okay? Want separate food? I don't remember her having so much light fur on her face. That's why I'm wondering if she has a form of mange also. Hopefully not. It could just be a bunch of bugs that have been bothering her. We'll have to see. It's 5:35 p.m. I just looked out the window and Ziggy was all stretched out on the patio. Like all stretched out. What is she playing with her foot? She seems to be very happy. Look at that. So it looks like she has light fur on her underbelly. There goes the one with the white shoes. I don't know if this is Clyde or Chuck or Charlie. I haven't figured out his name yet. Oh my gosh, I hope she's not in heat. That's what I just thought. Oh my gosh. Usually they will, go into a certain position with their butt in the air, tail to the side kind of thing. So they ate all the homemade raw food on the plate on the left, and they left the canned food on the right. I'm gonna put more homemade food on the platter on the left. I just put more homemade food down, and there's like, I don't know if they're bees or wasps or what, but they're just like flying all over, and it's horrible. I don't know how these cats are dealing with it. I don't know, can you see them here? And it looks like someone else is now enjoying a chicken wing. I think that's Ringo. Which is good. Maybe I'll put 2 more chicken wings out. I think these are the wings from Costco. They're already cut up. I thought I was going to have to cut each wing into smaller pieces, but these are already the ones that are cut up. They're party wings. So I'm standing here like a few feet away from this table, and the cats are coming up to it to eat. He just ran away with his chicken wing. He's like, no one's taking my chicken wing. It's 5:45. I put 2 more pieces of chicken wings out there. The cats got scared when I did that, and they kind of ran off. And I'm wondering if the cat with the socks, I wonder if his name is Jimmy. Because I was thinking like, oh, gym socks, gym shoes, sneakers. So his name might be Jimmy. I gotta see how that fits with him. It's 7 p.m. and it looks like the cats have finished all the food that I put out on the 2 platters. I filled them multiple times, so I think what I'm gonna do is put a little more dry food out, and then that's it. It's starting to get dark already. Maybe I'll put out one more of the hard-boiled eggs, this time without taking the shell off, just to see what happens. It's about 7:40 p.m. I was in the living room with the cats, and we just heard what sounded like an animal scream. We don't know, I don't know if it was a cat, a raccoon. I mean, it could have been a person. I mean, like some kids screaming, but it sounded like an animal scream. Like, you know, when some cats get in a fight or something. It wasn't like a long thing. It was just kind of quick, but all the cats got freaked out when they heard it, and I figured, let me come out. So there's 2 cats back here. It did not sound like it was coming from the patio. It sounded like it was coming from either the next yard or maybe from the woods. Like, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. Today I did see some of the kittens in the next yard. On the other side of this fence is my neighbor's yard, and their house is still under renovation, and the yard is just full of debris. Not as bad as it was. They did clear some of it up, but there's a lot of debris in their yard. And I saw some of the kittens walking around in the yard. So I hope they're careful when they're over there. But, yeah, I don't know what's going on. 7:52 p.m. and I'm being visited by this cat. This is not one of the kittens. This is a larger tabby. Looks very well fed, and it's just been sitting on the patio staring at the back door. So I'm gonna put some food out for it, and I'm gonna give it a separate little plate. Maybe this is the cat that got into a fight with the other kittens. You know, they do gang up on outsiders. Maybe this cat was trying to eat some of the food and they were not happy. I don't know. So I'm gonna go give it some food. And look who's here. Look who's relaxing on the patio. It's Ziggy. Hello, Ziggy. How are you? And there's a few others eating food. I just put some more crunchies out for them also. Here you go. And some food. Here. I just put the plate of food on the patio, maybe like 3 feet away from the water bowl. And the cat kind of ran around the side to the other part of the yard. I don't know if it'll come back, maybe if I go inside. And I put another hard-boiled egg in the bowl underneath the feeding table. We'll see what happens. I also have to check the security camera because the one that was pointed at it, the battery died. I swapped it out with another one, so I have to make sure that one's working. So the cat came back to eat, and that's why I put the plate a few feet away from the water bowl, because I figured the kittens would come to the water bowl. I don't know if they're related to this cat. This cat could be their mom. It's really hard to keep track of the other cats. Like, I've figured out the 6 kittens, or the 7 kittens actually, but the other tabbies that I've been visiting, it's hard to keep track of them. Like, obviously all the cats that live outside kind of know each other. See, she just got called back, or he. They're like, don't go over there. And Boo's looking out the window right now also. So I cannot spend my entire night looking out the window at what the cats are doing. I have to get other things done, so. I have cameras on outside, and I'll check in on them later. Hopefully it will be a quiet, uneventful night. They have been enjoying going on the patio furniture, I will say that. I've caught them sleeping on the patio chairs, or at least relaxing on the patio chairs. I don't know if you can see what's going on here, but there's a skunk eating the food. Yeah, it's eating the food on the platter. It's probably too dark to see this right now, but Ziggy is all sprawled out on the patio like she was before. Like she's totally stretching out. There's multiple cats spread all across the patio right now. That's crazy. It's 7:40 a.m. I'm bringing out another platter of food. So there's a platter of food under the feeding table, and there's Jimmy. I'm going to see if that name sticks to him. He's eating some food, so they have some of the homemade raw food along with some crunchies. And there's Ziggy under the table. I just put another plate of food, so this is some of the wholehearted chicken and beef pate. The inside cats don't like it, along with some more crunchies. This is the hard-boiled egg from last night. No one touched it, no one ate it, and that mangy fox did not come around. I'm gonna go inside now. He's gonna go back and eat. Hello. 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 All these cats love each other. They're one big family. Oh, it meowed. Ziggy meowed. Hey, Ziggy. Hey, Ziggy. I'm trying to get a look at her face to see what's going on with it. It's 9:15 a.m. These are platters number 5 and 6 for the cats, so it's more of the wholehearted canned cat food with crunchies. They've eaten 4 platters so far this morning, and I think it's 4 or 5 of the cats. I don't know exactly which ones because I haven't been really keeping track, but yeah, they've been eating a lot of food, which is good. It is 6:55 a.m. and I just put 2 platters of food out. It's supposed to rain today, and it's supposed to start fairly soon. So I wanted to make sure I put some food out for the cats. There's 3 of them out there now. One of them is Goldie, if that's her name. I think the other one is Richard. It's hard to tell because they're in shadow. And then the other one is not Ringo. It's the other classic Tabby. They have a different face. This one looks more like a girl. I haven't really decided on a name yet. And also, I think I saw her backside, and I think she's a girl. So, still figuring that one out. They're eating the homemade food, not the homemade raw food, the homemade cooked food. I don't know if that was the last container of it. I have to go look in the fridge. I definitely like making the homemade raw food so much better than making the homemade cooked food. It's just cleaner, easier, and quicker. And the homemade cooked food it takes a lot longer. There's a lot more steps involved, and there's a lot more cleanup. So I don't know if I'll be making that again anytime soon. Obviously, if I had like leftover cooked chicken or turkey or something, then I could easily use that. I was looking at the security camera footage from overnight. Because the automatic feeder's off, it gets visited by less raccoons and wildlife than it normally does. But every night there's 1 or 2 skunks visiting, there's 1 or 2 possums visiting. There are still raccoons trying to get into the food, but they have not been successful, so they kind of just try and then leave. And then the cats have been kind of patrolling the yard, and every so often they do kind of sniff around under the table looking for food. So I don't know where the rest of them are. I should also mention that last night, like well after typical business hours, I got a phone call, and it's an unknown caller, and I was like, I don't know who that is, so I'm just going to let it go to voicemail. And when I checked the voicemail, It was a woman from the rescue group who has not gotten back to me in like a week. I'm the one that I've emailed and left a voicemail for. And she got back to me and left me a very brief message saying she's not at a number I could call her back on, so she's just going to try me again. I don't know what's going on there. And then I got an email back from another rescue group that I contacted, and they're very local. And they told me that they couldn't help me, that I would have to contact animal control, local animal control. So I wrote them back, but then after that, I immediately had to go out to an appointment, and then my car broke down. Well, it didn't actually break down, it overheated. So I had to pull over to the side of the road, wait for it to cool down, and I could only drive like a mile and a half at a time. And then I had to pull over, wait for it to cool down, and it took me forever to get home. And then I had to make an appointment to have it fixed, which is tomorrow. And then I went and I bought some antifreeze, some coolant, and it ended up that the engine had absolutely no coolant in it. So I don't know if it's a leak. I don't know what the issue is. So I got to find that out tomorrow. Hopefully it's not going to be an expensive fix. So now there's 4 cats here. Ziggy just joined them. The table is a nice size. You can see there's 4 cats easily sitting under this table. So even if it was raining out, they would be sheltered while they're eating. So I'm going to go finish getting ready for my day, and I'll be back. The plates will probably be empty. Another thing I should mention is that I have been putting a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar on each platter. So I'll put the food on the platter. I'll then measure out a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. I'll sprinkle it on the food on the platter. Then I add in water, and then I put some crunchies on it, and then I give it to the cats. So there's Richard now. The question is, where did he come from? Was he just under the table, or do we now have 5 cats? I think we now have 5 cats. 1, 2, yeah, there's 5. 3, 4, 5. So 2 are missing. Sammy's not here, the black and white one. And then the one with the white paws. I don't know if I'm going to be calling him Jimmy. He's missing. I feel like I want to call him Boots, but it's too similar to Boo. Boo and Boots is just way too similar, so that's why I'm trying to find something else that resonates with him. It's starting to thunder now. Has not started to rain yet, but the storm's definitely on the way. So I filled up the platters again. They were empty. I gave them the rest of the homemade food, so that's a full pint of homemade food, 16 ounces, mixed with some water and apple cider vinegar, and then I put some more crunchies on the plate. So hopefully they'll eat fast, they'll finish, and then go to some kind of shelter for safety. I don't know where they've been sheltering. They can go under my house. The Rubbermaid tub shelter is open. It's always been open. They could just hang out under my house. There's room there. Hydrox's old shelter. Wow, that shook the house. Hydrox's old shelter is closed because it's been closed since last year, since Ditto came inside. I did not need possums and skunks moving in, so it's been closed. I don't know if I'm going to open that yet. It's not really shelter season for the cats. They don't use shelters until it's much colder out. They just prefer not to be in them. Even like Hydrox, Ditto, Boo, Stella, when they were outside, they weren't ready to use shelters yet, usually until probably November, December, when it starts getting really cold. Also, the doghouse shelter is outside, the one that the automatic feeder used to be in. So if they needed to go in there, they could go in there to shelter, but they obviously have some place that they go because, you know, they've been living outside their entire life, so they know what to do. This is not their first storm. So I'm gonna go and finish getting ready for my day. 7:15 a.m. It just started raining and all the cats scattered. I'm wondering if I should go maybe put some pavers under the table and raise these plates off the ground, just so they don't get soaking wet. 7:19 a.m. and it is pouring out, and we're getting really loud thunder. It's freaking the cats out. And I'm really happy that I put the food out when I did. It was perfect timing. A little bit earlier would have been even better, but it was dark out. I didn't want to put it out while it was still dark out because sometimes raccoons come back. So I don't know why I woke up early today. It was just kind of like random that I woke up at like 5:30 a.m. Mission accomplished. Cats are fed this morning. It's 3:10 p.m. and the sun came out. It stopped raining. And I looked outside and Sammy was eating some food under the table. And it was just a little bit of the wet crunchies from earlier. So I opened up a can of food and I gave them some crunchies, which they're eating now. There's Ziggy, and I'm not sure who the other two are. So today I got 2 replies from the local rescues. One of them saying that I have to go through animal control, even though I explained the situation and that I didn't want to go through animal control. And the other was so helpful. It was the rescue group that had not gotten back to me in a while. The one, like, I emailed them and called them and it took them a while to get back to me. But it was well worth it because when she did finally get back to me, she had so much information for me. Like, I was taking notes for like 20 minutes and she had a lot of good suggestions. And she told me that animal control has a waiting list 5 pages long. And she told me that some other services that also do TNRs are booked up until December. She said she's never seen it like this before. There's definitely a vet shortage and there's a lot of animals that need spaying and neutering and care. So that's the situation. She also gave me some leads as far as other vets in the area that handle feral cats and TNRs and that kind of stuff. So she said I would have to make an appointment with them and explain that it's a TNR and that I might not be able to get the cat in the trap. And if that's the case, just to make sure I call them early in the day and let them know that I won't be bringing a cat in so that they can reschedule an emergency or something else. At least I got some good leads. I might make some phone calls later today. I'm just so far behind with like work stuff because I've been dealing with my car, which is overheating and not running correctly. I have to take that into the shop tomorrow. So tomorrow morning I have to take my car into the shop, and then maybe in the afternoon I can make some phone calls with regards to spay and neuters, and we'll see how it goes. But at least today I feel like, okay, I'm making some progress as far as information and stuff, so that's good. It's 7:20 p.m. and I just looked out the back door and there was 4 cats having fun on the patio. Right now there's 3 of them. One of them ran off down the walkway. So there goes little Richard running into the bushes. And there is the one with the boots. I don't know if I'm going to call him Jimmy or Chuck. I haven't figured that one out yet. I might call him Chuck. And I think, is that Ziggy? Oh no, that's Goldie. That's Goldie. I don't know if that name is going to stick, but that's what it is for now. I looked out the window and it looks like they still have some food on the platters, but I might go put some crunchies on the platters. I gave them 2 cans of Trader Joe's canned turkey and giblets. Now Trader Joe's has discontinued their cat food, the 5.5 ounce cans of cat food that they sold. So I'm just using the cans that I have on a shelf in my basement. I have like a storage room in my basement, and I have some inventory on cat food. So that's what I'm using because the inside cats don't really like it. But I'm going to go put some dry food out there, and that way the cats will have it. It's getting dark right now. The sun has almost gone down, which means the other critters are going to start walking around. I just put like 4 handfuls of dry cat food on the platters. It's starting to get windy out, which is kind of weird. I don't think we have a storm coming. I thought all the storms had passed already. And it is noticeably cooler outside. Tomorrow is supposed to be much, look at this, one of them just came running full speed across the patio. What I was saying is tomorrow is supposed to be a lot cooler. I think it's actually going to get down into the 40s. I have to take my car into the shop tomorrow morning. I think it's going to be around 60 degrees at that time. Hopefully it'll be in the 60s, not the 50s. And then later in the day, it's supposed to even get cooler. So what's this cat doing? Oh, I have not seen any of the cats go in that shelter over there. But today I was thinking about opening up Hydroxy shelter, the one that's under the house, the custom cat shelter under the house. But I need to put a new camera in it. So the past few years I had a set of security cameras outside, wired security cameras, so they were always on. It was like 24/7 cameras, and I disconnected all of those, and I have a new camera set that I bought over a year ago, and I have never taken it out of the boxes, and it's supposed to be better than the last camera set, which was kind of old. So I would like to put a new camera in the shelter just to keep an eye on things. It was really nice to know what was going on in there. It was really, really nice. And I did not have the camera connected when Hydrox spent her last day or two in the shelter. So we had no idea what was going on in the shelter at all. There is a little window, but you can't really see a whole lot in there. So it might have been better if the camera had been connected at that time. I'm also wondering if there's any other strategic locations around the yard where I should be putting it. So I'm just giving it some thought. It's 7:24 a.m. and I just put 2 platters of food out. It's the homemade raw food with some crunchies on it. There's 4 cats eating. I'm not sure exactly which ones. I'm on a really tight schedule today. Have to be out of here for a 9 o'clock appointment. Have a lot to do before then. So I put their food out, and I'll check back in a little while. If the platters are empty, I'll put more out. It's 4:15 p.m. It is super windy out, and I was out here cleaning up the patio, and Goldie, if that's going to be her name, was looking at me. And she was looking for food. Like, she came up to the table and she was looking for food. Oh, who's this? Richard? There's Richard. And so I put some food out, but it's so windy, so I had to put it under one of the table legs. And then 3 other cats came out, so I was like, well, there's 4 now. So I put 2 platters out, and hopefully they'll come back and eat it. Look how pretty Richard is. You're so pretty, Richard. You're a handsome boy. You're so handsome. And let me show you what's going on here. So I went to refill the water bowl on the side of the house, and there's like a big piece of vine on the ground next to it. And I was like, what's that from? So I looked up, and there's this whole mass of vines that are just hanging off this tree. So last summer when I had all the trees trimmed, there was a ton of vines. I think they're all like wisteria vines, and they took out what they could take out, and then there was a bunch left, and they've since died. So now there's a bunch of dead vines up in this tree. And what's happening is, with the wind, I guess the wind knocked some of them down, but like right there in the middle, there's that whole bunch of vines that needs to come down. So I moved the water bowl away from underneath it. I moved it a few feet over, and I'm hoping it does not come down on anybody. Like, it doesn't come down when a cat's underneath it. And I'm hoping it's light and not heavy, since they are vines. The ones that I picked up were really light, because I know that when like a tree limb falls, it's really heavy, and that could do like a lot of damage and injury. So I'm hoping this doesn't do damage or injury. I'm just hoping it stays in the tree, and we'll see what happens. It's just that with all this wind, I think it's been knocking stuff down. And then here you see that other vine that's hanging between these 2 trees. Yeah, they're all like tangled up and everything, so we'll see what happens. It's 6:51 p.m. I just got home, pulled into the driveway, and there was a cat laying on the driveway, and then there was a cat in one of the bushes. They went running to the back here, and here's two cats. It looks like they're waiting for dinner. So the two platters from earlier are empty. So I'll put some more food together for them, and then I'll bring it out and put it on those platters. It's still really windy, and it's quite cold. And I was going to open up the shelter under the house for them, just in case they wanted to use it. I might still do that, although I got to feed the inside cats, got to do all the cat chores inside, and it might be dark by then, because it starts getting dark right around now, and I was out longer than I thought I would be. So it ends up that my car, which is in the shop, is still not done. I dropped it off 9 a.m., had a 9 a.m. appointment. It's been there all day. They finally called me like an hour ago, and then they told me that they don't know what's wrong with it. They've been checking it all afternoon, and they can't figure out what the problem is. So it ends up I'm going to leave it there overnight, and hopefully tomorrow then they'll be able to fix it, and then I'll be able to pick it up. So that kind of messed up my original plans for the afternoon. So that's why I got back later. It's 8:12 a.m. I put a platter of food out maybe 5 or 10 minutes ago. So it's homemade raw food with some dry cat food. There's 3 cats right now. I'm not sure which ones they are. I'm going to put another platter out, and then I'll check in with them later. I just put another platter out, and when I go outside, they run toward the back of the yard. And I noticed on the platter that they're eating from, they eat all the raw food first, and then they leave the crunchies for last. Maybe they don't like them as much. I don't know. So there's another platter, and I'll check back in a little while. I'm still getting ready for my day. Grandma and Grandpa are supposed to be visiting today, and I'm trying to get some stuff done before they get here, so we'll check in with the cats later. It's 8:45 a.m. The landscapers are here. They showed up this morning, and I texted them, and I said avoid the back area behind the patio. So hopefully they're not going to come back here and disturb the cats. But look at that. Both of the platters are licked clean. So I'm going to put some more food together and put it out there for the cats. So those are platters number 3 and 4, and that makes a whole pound of homemade raw food. So they went through an entire pint, which is fine. It cost me about $2 a pound or less, which is cheaper than even buying Friskies. And I put some more of the dry food out there, and they look like they're filling out nicely. I've noticed that on the security camera footage over the past few days. So several weeks ago when they started coming around, they were really skinny and bony, and now they look like they've filled out nicely. I don't look at them and say, oh my gosh, they're starving, because obviously they're not. They've been getting fed on a regular basis. And when I was talking to the woman from the rescue and also animal control, they said the best thing to do is to get them on a set schedule so that they show up at certain times, for example, for breakfast and for dinner, because then it should be easiest to trap one of them. So yesterday was the first colder night that we've had this season. It got down into the 40s. It was pretty cold inside the house too. I almost put the heat on, but then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to put the heat on yet. I'm going to see how much I could tough it out. So hopefully it'll warm up today. And I got to check the weather to see if the nights are going to be warmer, if yesterday was just an abnormally colder night or what. So I don't know where the cats go at night. I have no idea where they go. They don't stick around here all night on the security cameras. I do see them occasionally like walking in and out of the patio area, but I don't know where they go.
Here's Stella. Okay. Here's Simba. Come on. Here's Simba. Over here. Here's Stella. Over there. Good girl. Good Simba.
It's 5 p.m. and here's little Richard, and there's Ziggy. She's eating some food. I put the plate of food back there because Grandpa is doing some work around the patio, and I've been doing some work around the patio. Oh, and who's in the back? Someone else is in the back corner. You see them? I'm not sure who that is. I think it's the one I really don't have a name for yet. So they're eating their food, and this is the ladder where Grandpa was working. So Grandpa was on the ladder, and Richard was hanging out in the corner there just watching him the whole time. And here he is now. Look how brave these cats are. So like when Hydrox and Ditto were here, and Grandma and Grandpa were over, they used to run out of the yard. They wouldn't even come back for dinner until like a while later. But this is the first time that these cats are here while Grandma and Grandpa are here, so they're really brave. Look at this. This is what's going on. So Grandpa's working. He just got on the ladder. And there goes Richard under the fence. But he's going to come back out because he's very nosy. Grandpa says he should be called Snoopy because he likes to snoop around and see what's going on. So there's Grandpa on the ladder, and there's Ziggy eating food. These cats are brave cats. So this is the custom cat shelter that's been under the house, and it hasn't been pulled out in a long time. I would say maybe over a year. So I just pulled it out, and there was actually a blanket inside of it and a training pad. They weren't dirty, but I just tossed them out anyway. There is some carpet on the bottom. Looks like I'll need another piece of carpet here. But my goal for today is to disconnect this camera and to put a new camera in there. A nice thing about this shelter is that it is big enough for multiple cats. It's actually quite spacious, and I think 6 or even 7 cats could easily fit in here. So if all of these little kittens were to go in here at once, I think that they would fit. I mean, it would be tight. They would obviously be cuddling up with each other, but it would work. It's 8 a.m. Look at this. Hello. Hello, little Goldie. Hello. We're having a late morning, and I'm just putting some food out for the outside cats. I'm heating up some water to mix in because it was in the refrigerator. Who's that, Boo? Who's that, Boo? So here's Boo. And look at this. There's 3. That's Ringo. I saw his sister a little while ago. Well, they're all brothers and sisters, but I saw the one that has the same patterns as he does. So this is what the cats are getting. They're getting a platter of homemade cat food with some dry food on it. I'm bringing out a second platter of food. The camera battery just died. There's 6 of them right now. Do you see? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're getting braver. Either that or they're just super, super hungry. See, here's little Richard's coming to eat while I'm standing right next to the table. They didn't run under the fence. Here comes Ziggy. She's coming too. So it's getting much colder, and they're going to be burning more calories. So that's why they're probably more hungry. And also they're hopefully getting used to me. That first platter is practically gone. So there's a second platter. And there's these bees or wasps flying around. Look at this, guys. Look how close. Look how close. I just put the third platter of food out. So here's the one that doesn't really have a name yet. And Grandma Farrell was here yesterday and she thinks I should name her Rhoda because it goes with Ringo, like Ringo and Rhoda. So I don't know if that's gonna stick. And then today when I was just outside, the one with the white shoes, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time naming him. So they have 3 platters of food. The inside cats are like, what's going on? But I need to, like, I haven't even started getting ready for my day. I literally just got out of bed and I was like, I gotta put food out for the cats because it's already after 8 a.m. and sometimes I put food out earlier than this. I want to keep them on a schedule because either tomorrow or the next day, I want to see if I could call and make the first appointment for a spay and neuter. And I don't know when the appointment's going to be. I got to find out with regards to the vet, like how backed up they are. And then we'll take it from there. It's 8:37 a.m. I just got out of the shower and look at what's going on outside. All of the platters have been licked clean. So that's 3 platters. That's a full pound of homemade cat food. So that's a whole pint, 16 ounces. So I'm going to get dressed and then I'll open up a can of food or maybe 2 cans of food and put it out on the platters. There's 6 hungry cats outside. 8:53 a.m. I just prepared a can of Trader Joe's cat food. They discontinued their cat food, so I'm using what I have left. I mixed some water into it, and I split it up among the 2 platters, and then I filled the rest of the platters with dry food. And as I was doing that, the cat with the white paws literally like walked up to the platter and started eating. And so I was talking to him, I'm like, what's your name? Is your name Wilbur? Is your name Jimmy? What's your name? I'm trying to figure out what it is. It might be Jimmy. Because when I said, is your name Jimmy? All of a sudden his eyes looked really green. And I was like, oh, does that resonate with you? We'll have to see. Now with the other one, I'm thinking it's Shirley. Swirly Shirley. We'll have to see how that goes. She kind of looks like a Shirley. And we'll see. And there's Goldie, but I'm wondering if her name is Dot. Like Dottie. But she's not a very dotty cat. She just has that one gold marking on her forehead. She looks like a combination of black and gold. And Goldie kind of fits with her. So the only one I haven't seen today would be Sammy. The one that reminds me of Sammy Davis Jr. So far we have Sammy, Ringo, Little Richard, Ziggy, Goldie, Jimmy, and Shirley. How many is that? Did I miss one? Sammy, Ringo, Little Richard, Ziggy, Goldie, Shirley, and Jimmy, potentially. Some of those names are not 100% yet. Potentially. These are potentials. The inside cats still need to eat their breakfast. It's 10:24 a.m. I just came outside to clean up some stuff on the patio, and there's 3 cats here. They were just eating some food. I guess they were cleaning up whatever's left on the plates. It looks like it's Ziggy, Little Richard, and then Chuck. I don't know what his name is. Jimmy, James, Charles, Charlie, Wilbur. I don't know now. I feel like his name is Chuck. I can't decide on a name for this cat. At least they're happy. Look. They're rubbing on each other. Hey, Chuck. Hey Chuck. Is your name Chuck? Like Chuck Taylor's? I think he likes that name. Look, he's blinking at me. Hey Chuck. Like Chuck Berry? Look, he's blinking at me. Hey Chuck. Your name Chuck? Are you Chuck? Is that your name? This is Richard. Look at Richard. Look, he's laying out. Look at him laying out like this. Oh my gosh, he reminds me so much of Simba. Oh, and look. There's the other one. What's her name? Is that Shirley? Hello, little Shirley. Shirley and Chuck. Is that it? Is that your guys' names? Chuck and Shirley? Richard, Chuck, and Shirley. I don't know, guys. But if you look at Shirley's fur, it's so pretty. It has like gray, but it also has brown, little reddish tones. It's all different colors. Swirly Shirley. Swirly Shirley. Your name's Shirley? Maybe her name is Shirley spelled S-U-R-E-L-Y. Shorely. That would be Shorely. No. I think Shirley is her name. I mean, they're all brothers and sisters. In my mind, they all come from the same litter. They're all like the exact same size, the exact same age. And there's Ziggy. How you doing, Ziggy? And there's Richard laying in the irises. Yeah, Shirley's definitely a girl. I just saw her backside. So this is the dog house that used to house the automatic feeder. So the automatic feeder was kept inside here, and the bowl was here. And then the cats used to go in and eat inside. This was actually set up when Boo was living outside, Boo and Hydrox. So there weren't a whole bunch of cats eating at the same time. So it was okay that it was housed in here. And it did really well for years. I mean, I set it up in 2017 and took it down in 2021. So that was like 4 years. What Grandpa Farrell did yesterday, I don't know if you could see it, but in the back, he popped out an escape route. So there's a 5x5-inch door in the back. So if there's an issue with this shelter, the cat can escape out the back. And if we think back to last winter, I think it was last winter, when the other doghouse shelter was here. So it was identical to this. It had the same front door, the same door in the back, and then it had a heated shelter inside of it. And Ditto was in the shelter, and a crazy raccoon tried attacking him from this front door. And instead of going out the back, which I don't even know if he could have gone out the back because we had so much snow that the back might have been just covered with like too much snow for him to get out the back. Well, he literally came flying out the front. He flew over the raccoon, you know, through the air, landed, I don't know, 6 feet away, and just ran for his life around the snowbanks on the patio and then out of the yard, and then the raccoon chased him. That was like the craziest night ever. That was the same night that the raccoons got into the other shelter. So this is the custom cat shelter under the house. It could use some surface cleaning, but yesterday we opened it up and I replaced the camera. There's a camera inside here. So it's in really good condition inside. The insulation is fine. The carpeting is fine. We put new carpeting in here before we closed it up. So everything's fresh. I just need to kind of clean off the outside. And there's still pieces blocking the doors so no one could get in. And then there's 2 vestibules under the house. So one vestibule goes here, the other vestibule goes there. If you're not familiar with how vestibules work, they help to block the flow of air. So when I used to live in New York City, for example, and we used to go out to restaurants or a store or wherever, in the wintertime, they'd put up a vestibule in front of the front door because a lot of these were really small restaurants, for example, or a really small store. And if you opened up the door, all kinds of cold air would come in and then it would really affect the temperature inside. But if they had a vestibule, it would definitely help stop the flow of cold air. It's basically like a door and a little foyer area and then the main door to go in. And that's really helped with this shelter, and the cats don't mind. It's like the cats go through like a little tunnel to get in. So this is not set up yet, but it's pretty much ready to go. This is one of the new cameras. So one of the old cameras used to be here, and this used to be a little bit taller. So we actually lowered this, moved it closer to the shelter. It's closer to the shelter now, so maybe it'll get a better view. I don't know how the new cameras are gonna work yet. Also, we lowered the solar panels so the cats can get a better view out of the windows that are above the solar panels. From a cat's eye view, the solar panels were kind of blocking their view of the patio. So hopefully by lowering them a little bit, the cats will get a better view out the window. So this is the first year that I had the patio table and chairs on this side of the patio, and it's actually nice having them here, but I think what I'm gonna do is move them back to here where they used to be. And then this is where I have the feeding table and the automatic feeder so far, and it's been working really well. This has been working really well. This is a 3 by 3 foot table, so 36 inches by 36 inches. And we took one of the legs off yesterday, so it actually only has 7 legs right now. And the legs are 15 inches high. And this is fine for feeding cats under the table. There's 2 platters under here. A lot of cats can fit under this table, easily 4 cats, 5, 6 cats. And if it rains, this helps shelter them. And also then, this is where the automatic feeder is. So this is the blue tub. It's a blue recycled tub from previous years. It's still new. It was put out very recently. It has the automatic feeder housed inside of it. And then to keep the raccoons from getting into it, there is a large piece of plywood put on top of it. I think it's a 2 foot by 2 foot piece of plywood. It actually extends out this way and the table's kind of over it. And then there's 2 really heavy pavers on top, and that's to keep the raccoons out. When there was only 1 paver on top, the raccoons were actually able to slide the paver over and get into the feeder. But since there's 2 pavers on top now, they have not been able to do that. And also the table itself is on top of the plywood. So I measured it so that there would be overlap, so then everything that is underneath is protected from rain. So if it does rain, then the cats can still eat out of this feeder, and since it's not in the doghouse, they can access it from multiple directions, so you could actually have several cats eating at the same time. I still have this Rubbermaid shelter underneath the house. The fact that it's underneath the house has really helped it last a lot longer than if it was out in the elements. So I have to go through that, clean it up, but it's still there and it's still usable. But the issue does arise with regards to TNRing these cats. So right now I'm filming this. It's like the last week of September. So that gives me October, November. It gives me 2 months to really work with before winter gets here, like December. And there's 7 cats that I'm dealing with, so if I did 1 cat a week, that would be pretty much 2 months. If I could do 2 cats a week, that could lessen the amount of time, but you know, it's all a question of being able to get them into traps. It's 3 p.m. I was sitting downstairs and all of a sudden Boo comes running down the stairs and jumping up to the top of the cat tower downstairs. And I was like, what is he looking at? Well, this is what he's looking at. This is little Richard, and he was just laying by the cat shelter, the doghouse. Boo just jumped off the cat tower downstairs, and he's gonna be coming upstairs soon. I could hear it. Yep, he's by my feet now. So there's little Richard just hanging out. Maybe he's looking for dinner. It's still early. It's 3 o'clock. But he did just remind me that we are supposed to get some pretty severe thunderstorms this afternoon. I think they're supposed to get here around 4:30. So I'm going to go check the weather apps and look at the radar. And if that is the case, then I'm going to give them dinner early. So then they're set. We have to remember, outside cats have much bigger appetites before any kind of storm or bad weather. It's 7:37 p.m. Look who's at the back door. It's little Richard. Hello, Richard. How are you? So I just looked out the kitchen window to see if the cats had eaten the food on the platters, and I saw a skunk eating. And then I saw a cat moving around in the darkness, and I was like, who is it? And it was Richard. Then I watched him walk toward the shelter under the house. The next thing I know, he came up to the back door. So I'll put some more food out. Here's Boo. What you doing, Boo? I told Boo he could take some time off because he's working too much lately. I told Boo he's a workaholic, and he can't be a workaholic because, you know, I don't want him to burn himself out. So I gave him some time off. That's why he was hanging out in the living room. We were watching TV for a little while. And now he's looking at Richard. Richard's afraid of the camera. Obviously, he's very cautious too. He doesn't want to go near the skunk. The skunk is still near the feeding table. So maybe I'll put some food out over here and see if he wants it over there. Actually, now there's 2 skunks near the feeding table. The problem with having skunks out there, like if I go out there and they get scared, they could potentially spray, which I don't need. So maybe I'll just wait for the skunks to leave. Richard is now under this little feeding table. There's the skunk. Yep. Oh no. Now he's walking away because he saw the skunk. So maybe I won't put some food out. Maybe he's just exploring. And there goes the skunk getting a drink of water. It's 7:48 a.m. and I put 2 platters of food out for the cats because 2 of them were hanging around. Ziggy and Ringo were looking for food. So 1 platter has some homemade food on it. It's the platter farthest away from me. And the other platter has a can of food. I'm giving them the cans of food that the cats don't like, that I've had in the house. So this is a good use for that. And the cat to the right of the table, yesterday I was calling that cat Shirley. I was like, maybe its name is Shirley, Swirly Shirley. But today, I'm thinking maybe its name is Eva, like little Eva, because now that one is the smallest of the cats. It used to be little Richard was the smallest of the cats, but since I've been feeding them, these cats are, you know, getting good and healthy. So now she's the smallest of the cats. Like she was the last one to come around. She's the last one I ever saw. So I'm wondering if her name should be Little Eva. I have Little Richard and Ziggy Stardust, Sammy Davis Jr. If the other one's called Chuck, his name would be Chuck Berry. Then we just have Goldie because she looks like she has a gold coin on her head. And who am I missing? Ringo. We have Ringo. And Eva would fit with them, Little Eva. Well, we'll see how that works today. We'll see if that fits her. It's 8:06 a.m. and let me tell you what just happened. So I noticed the 2 platters were completely empty, so I put some more food together for the cats. And the minute I opened the back door, 4 of the cats went just running across the patio to the table. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is new for them. So I went over to the table and I was filling both of the platters with food, and they were just like right here watching me. 4 of them now, I think there's 5 of them. So it was Goldie, Richard, Ziggy, and then the one with the white shoes, which I don't really have a name for right there. And let me tell you what happened. So the one with the white shoes turned around and I got to look at the backside of that cat. I think it's a girl. I think the reason why none of the names have stuck is because it's a girl. Just from what I saw today, I think it's a girl. I could be wrong. I need another look. But from what I saw today, I'm pretty sure it's a girl, which would make sense why none of the names stuck. So maybe Charlie. I mean, I don't want to call a girl Chuck. Now I gotta figure this out again. Maybe, I mean, if it's a girl, then like it's named Nancy. Its name is Nancy. Because Nancy Sinatra sang these boots are made for walking, and see the white boots on the cat? So if this cat is indeed female, its name is Nancy. Because it has white boots. And those boots are made for walking. Alright, can we get a look? I can't zoom in any farther. So when I edit this video, I'll be able to get a look, but on this little tiny screen on my camera, I can't really see. From what I saw, that looked like a female. And then that solves the name problem. It's Nancy. And that's why the names didn't resonate. So that would be Nancy. Little Eva. That's little Eva. Under here is, I think that's Goldie and Richard. I don't know. It's hard to keep track. Anyway, I'm gonna let them finish. I gotta take care of the inside cats. It's 8:49 a.m. and I just went outside to put more food on the platters. And as I was putting food on the platters, Nancy walked right up to the table, if that's her name, and she was watching me. So a few more cats came around, and I went into the garage and I took out the trap. See the trap on the bottom of the screen? That's where I put it. They told me just put it outside for a few days and don't set it, don't do anything, just put it out there so the cats would get used to it being around. So that's what I did. It scared the cats away, of course, because it makes jangly noises. It's made out of metal. Later on, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to hose it down and just make sure there are no scents on it, like it doesn't smell like any other cats or anything. That's the plan for today. It's 11:25 a.m. right now. Here's Boo. He's been relaxing in his office in the cat tower. This cat tower needs to be cleaned out. I've been sitting not too far away at the dining room table trying to get some work done. And here's Simba. Simba's relaxing in the cat tower over here. So one of the things that I had to do today was call the animal hospital to do the TNRs for the feral cats outside. And I got a few tickets for that from one of the local rescues. And the earliest they could get me in was the end of December. That's 3 months from now. I was completely shocked that those were the earliest appointments that they had. So I took the appointments. So I have 2 appointments for the end of December. But I have 7 cats that need to be spayed and neutered, and I would really like to get them done before the weather gets so cold, because usually at the end of December, it's like snowy and cold and just really bad weather. So I ended up contacting another local vet practice that the rescue had told me about, and I talked to them, and they said they could not do any spay or neuter procedures without a certificate from a rescue. So unfortunately, the rescue that I talked to could only give me the 2 certificates because that's all she had. She's dealing with so many cats. So I then had to contact another group that provides TNR certificates. I had to do it online, and it was quite costly. So I ordered 4 certificates, and it was almost $700 for the 4 certificates. So hopefully those will get here soon. Once I have those certificates, then I could book some appointments with this other vet, and then hopefully try to get these cats spayed and neutered before the weather gets really, really bad in the winter, versus having to wait for like animal control to come and help, or these other tickets to kick in. So fingers crossed everything will go well. And the vet that I talked to said once I get their certificates, they should be able to get me in for quicker appointments, and I wouldn't have to wait that long. So fingers crossed, everyone. Please send positive thoughts. I know by the time you're seeing this, it's probably going to be a month from now, and who knows what kind of situation it'll be. But I'm just documenting this entire journey. I just came outside and the cats were somewhere around the shelter here. It's really interesting. Ever since Grandpa put the back door in, they're showing a lot more interest in it. What I'm thinking of doing is actually putting some straw inside of it and seeing if they use that. and seeing how that goes. So I've used straw in one of those Rubbermaid tub shelters in the past, and it did not go well at all. The straw got like all moldy. It was like black mold, and it got wet. It didn't stay dry. People say it stays dry. It got really wet, and it became home to a lot of insect nests, like spiders made nests in it, and my concern was that the local mice were gonna make a nest in it. Even with cats around, you know, that is a potential. I'm thinking about just using straw in there for a little while just to see what the cats do and how they react to it. I'd have to go out and buy some straw. I'm just watching the cats interact right now. So I have a platter of food that I'll be putting out. This is some canned food. It's the wholehearted turkey pate. Cats inside are not really crazy about it, along with some crunchies on top. So the one nice thing about feeding these cats outside is that I'm able to use the canned food that I have that the inside cats don't really like. Look at this. Look, 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 look. Look at that. Hello, Nancy. I wonder if it's a girl. Show me your backside again so I can get a better look. Yeah, put your tail up. Put your tail up. Put your tail up, Nancy. Nancy, put your tail up. There goes Ringo. Nancy, let me see your backside. Hey, Nancy. How are you? You okay? You're pretty. You look like Stella. You remind me of Stella. Yeah. Maybe you're like a distant relative. You okay? And here's Richard. So Richard was the smallest of all the cats when I started feeding them. Like when they first came around, he was the smallest. And now I'm wondering if he's actually the alpha of the bunch. Look at this. I'm so close, guys. I'm probably 2 feet away, not even. Okay, I'll go in so you could eat. Hello. Hello. It's 5 p.m. I just came outside. There's Richard. He's hissing at me. Hey, Richard. How are you? You got pretty eyes. You have very pretty eyes. You want some dinner? Let me give you some food? Oh, and who's back there? It looks like little Eva is back in the corner. So I also just came outside to measure this trap. This is the trap that I've used for Hydrox and Ditto. I just measured it. It's 36 inches, which is a pretty good size. It's about 12 inches tall and 10 inches wide. And I'm thinking about ordering another one and having 2. So maybe I'd be able to do 2 at the same time instead of just 1 at a time. If I could do 2 at a time, that would really greatly reduce the amount of time that I would have to go back and forth to a vet, and also the amount of time it's going to take me to get these cats spayed and neutered. And when I took Stella to get her spayed, I took Simba at the same time. I did not have an appointment for Simba, but I was able to get him into a carrier, and I just took them both and I was like, can you also do Simba? And they're like, yeah, no problem. That was back in the very beginning of 2017, so it was a very different situation. There was no vet shortage like there is today. There were no crazy long waits for appointments. So it was different back then. So that's why I'm thinking if I get another trap, maybe I could just make an appointment for like 2 cats on the same day and hopefully actually get 2 cats. So this is a Tomahawk live trap, and I did get this on their website, livetrap.com. I'm gonna see if I could order another one just to have 2 of them. Guys, so close. So close to me. Like I could reach out and touch this cat. Some more? Some more? Good? Do you like that? These are salmon flavored. Savory salmon flavor. You want another one? Want more salmon flavor? I'm gonna throw some farther away to see if she'll turn around or he'll turn around. Float. I think this one's a girl. This one seems more petite than Ringo and Richard. Would you like some more? Want some more? The phone's ringing inside. I just put 3 of the treats down really close to me. Let's see if she'll come and get them. She looked at the camera. She's afraid of the camera. She has smaller paws than Ringo and Richard. They have larger paws. Look at this, so close to me, guys. Look how close. Less than 2 feet away. You're so pretty. What a pretty girl. I wonder if it's a girl or a boy. Lift up your tail. Lift up your tail so I can see what's going on. Okay, good. And look at what's going on here. They're almost done. I'm going to put another platter on the other side of the patio and I'll bring more food out for this platter. Can you see there's like a wasp on it or a bee? Meanwhile, at the back door, there's Stella and Boo. Stella's very interested. Who's that baby, Stella? Who's that baby? She looks like you. She looks like you, Stella. What's going on over there? What's going on? Look at Nancy. I'm gonna call that cat Nancy until I know for sure whether it's a girl or a boy. Who's she with? Who's she with? She's with Richard? Oh my gosh, I hope she's not in heat. They might just be playing. Oh. Who's this? Is this Ringo? I think that's Ringo. Maybe it's Eva. No, it's Ringo. It looks like Ringo. Ringo and Eva look a lot alike, but Eva's fur has more colors. Yeah, that's Ringo. I think they're really excited because I'm going to be putting some food out soon. They're very pretty cats, aren't they? They look very happy. You want some food, guys? I put out some fresh water today. It's 8 a.m. I'm putting some food together for the kittens outside. You can see the size difference. Do you see how big Boo is compared to the kitten outside? I think that's Ziggy out there. And I'm getting a better look at her face, and she looks okay. She doesn't look like she has mange. She just looks like those are the different colors of her fur, like the black and the orange. It's really pretty. They're really pretty tortie cats. Boo is just meowing at her. I'm not going to open that door because issues would follow. I don't trust Boo. Right now he's claiming his property, rubbing up against the door frame. Boo's about twice the size of Ziggy. And I do have to say that these kittens outside are definitely look like they're getting bigger and they're filling out more, which is good. I mean, they're probably also getting their winter coat because the temperature is falling. But they do look a lot better than they did before I started feeding them. Like, they were way skinnier. You can really see their bones, especially the bones like above their tail on their back. Those bones were like really protruding. I don't want to scare you. I'm gonna put food out. Look at this. Here comes two more. There's Goldie. And there's Nancy. Goldie, hello Nancy. I still want to make sure you're a Nancy. And who's this? Little Eva? There's little Eva. So we got 4 cats on the patio. All the girls. Look, 4 girls. I think these are the 4 girls. The torties, you could be pretty sure those are girls because, you know, the vast percentage of them are girls. It's very rare that you have a male. And the other 2, I think, are girls. Oh, and there's one in the back. Who's that? Ringo in the back? So we have 5 present right now. Hello, Nancy. You look like a girl. That's why none of the boy names stuck to you. So they look like happy cats. Oh, look, and there's little Richard. So now we have 5 here and 1 in the back. That's 6. The only one we're missing is Sammy. Where's Sammy Davis Jr.? Where's he at? So look, they're starting to train themselves, guys. There's a reason why I'm just standing out the door and waiting before I put the food out. It's just because I want to see what they do, and they are definitely training themselves, which is good. Cats are smart. You know, the first goal is to let them know that I'm not here to harm them. I'm going to put the trap out. They will probably all run away. First I'm going to put the food out, then I'll put the trap out. I'm not going to open the trap yet. I ordered more traps yesterday with the extension pieces. And I'm going to hope that the animal hospital will take more than 1 at a time if that's possible. And if not, it's good for me to have more than 1 trap, because if one of the cats is recovering in a trap, and let's say they're going to recover for several days or a week, then I'll have another trap to use. The issue, obviously, is how much trust they will lose in this yard in me once I start trapping them. And also, you know, will the others go in the trap? The first few are going to be the easiest, and the last few are going to be the hardest, because cats are smart and they know what's going on. So I just put 2 platters of food down. So there's 2 different cans of food. One's Trader Joe's and then the other one is from Stop and Shop. And there's some Blue Wilderness salmon crunchies on top. And yeah, the cats came. Once they heard me open the back door, a few of the cats came running to the table. There's little Richard. And the other one was Goldie. And I think, who's there? Oh, Goldie and Ziggy are there. They look very happy today. And yeah, it's quite cooler out today right now. It's probably in the mid-50s. So there's little Eva walking toward the food, and that is Ringo in the back. You're a pretty girl. She's the littlest one now. And look who's eating. It's Ziggy and Goldie. And I have a really good look at Ziggy's face, and I'm not really seeing signs of mange, so that's good. They're pretty girls. Who's that, Ringo? There's Richard. All right, I'm gonna go so 2 other cats can eat from this side of the plate. It's about 8:30 a.m. I just looked outside and there's Sammy. So I had put a 3rd plate of food out because I figured, well, there's 6 cats that I saw. And here's number 7. So it looks like they all got some food this morning. Each platter has a can of food, a 5.5 ounce can, along with some crunchies on top. So they have plenty of food that should give them plenty of energy for their day, replenish the calories they burnt overnight because of the colder weather. And yeah, they're all happy cats now. The inside cats got brushed and they got fresh water, and we're having playtime right now. And this is what Simba just did while I was showing you Sammy outside. Do you see what he does to these toys? He chews the fishing line in half and he breaks the toy off. These are my last 2 wands, so either I'm gonna have to order more or I'm gonna have to learn how to use fishing line and how to attach new fishing lines to these toys and these wands. But this is why I always try to keep the string out of Simba's mouth. But literally, what? It only took a minute or 2 for me to show you Sammy outside, and that's what Simba did. Here's Simba. He's on the kitchen chair, and here's the toy on the floor underneath him. I just looked outside and I saw little Richard jump on top of this cat shelter, like on the roof of it. He's trying to get in the bushes now. I don't know what he's trying to do. He better not be trying to scratch that tree, because these trees cannot die. I have to go outside. So there's some markers on these trees. I guess the people that bought these trees and installed them never took these off. I'm taking them off. It's 1:45 p.m. and Simba just vomited a hairball up on this grass mat in the living room. So I took it outside and I hosed it down, cleaned it up really well. The nice thing about these mats is the back is like rubber, so it didn't soak through to the rug underneath it. And another nice thing is that you can just bring them outside and hose them down. I did wipe it down and clean it with the cleaner that I used, but I just wanted to make sure it was really clean, so I took it out here and hosed it down. And then this is what I did with the trap. So the trap has been out here this morning, and I just washed it really well, sanitized it, and this back door opened, so I actually took the back door off, and it's just laying on top here. It is attached, so it's not going to go anywhere. And what I want to do, I need to go run some errands right now. And I'm probably going to stop off at the Dollar Tree because they sell small pieces of carpet. And that's what I'm going to use in this one. They do sell trap mats, but they're like $20 each. And I looked at them and I was like, well, that's kind of really similar in size to the small pieces of carpet that you could get at the Dollar Tree. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a piece. I'm going to cut it down to fit the inside. And I'll put it in there. And then I'll put a bowl of food in here. And we'll see if anyone goes in to eat the food. I'm not setting it. I just want to see if they're comfortable going in and out, you know, not feeling like they're going to be caught or trapped in it. I'm still waiting for the certificates to come in the mail so I could schedule spay and neuters. And I'm also waiting for the other trap and the attachments to come. So here under the house, I have some of these old pieces of carpet. These are from the Dollar Tree. I think what I'm gonna do is go buy some new ones. I saw that they had new ones there. Hopefully they're still there. Same exact size. The ones that I saw they had were like bright blue. I'm just thinking to update the rugs so they're fresh, they're clean, they're new, and they're not going to smell like any other cats, like Hydrox or Ditto or anything like that. So there's 1-2 pieces there, and I could fit another 1-2-3 pieces, so I think I need to get like 5 pieces in total, so it'll be less than $10 to get those rugs. It is 6 p.m. and this is what's going on with the doghouse shelter. So I put a bunch of straw in it. I also found a square piece of carpet in the garage that had not been used before, so I put the carpet on the bottom and I put the straw inside. This is not a winter shelter yet because there's no insulation in it. What I would want to do to make this a winter shelter is put insulation on the bottom, insulation on the sides. There's already insulation on the roof because there's like a piece that goes across here. And so I'd want to insulate the inside of the shelter, and I think it would be a lot warmer. I'd also hang some clear door flaps on the front and on the back, and that's what I would do. Right now, the size of the shelter could easily house 4 of these cats, potentially 6, if they all crammed in there and cuddled with each other. I mean, it's plenty big for 1 cat, plenty big for 2 cats. 3 cats could fit comfortably, 4 cats could fit comfortably. Anything more than that might be a little tight, but it is an option for them. And since it's not getting too cold at night yet, I'm curious to see if they're going to use it. Like, are they going to explore it? When I was putting straw in the Rubbermaid shelter that I had it in when Stella, Splash, and Simba were living outside, Splash and Simba had a really fun time like playing with the straw. But then once I set it up as a shelter, nobody wanted to use it really. So yeah, that's why I'm just gonna put it here now. I don't know. I mean, chances are a skunk or a possum or someone else is gonna move in. Like, I don't know. So hopefully not a bunch of mice or rodents. So we'll see what happens. But again, this is just temporary right now, just to give them a warm place to hang out if they wanted to. Not that they have to. I don't know where they go at night or where they actually seek shelter. So yeah, that's where this stands. Otherwise, today I did go into the Dollar Tree and I got 3 of these for the traps. I just need to cut them down. So these are they're about 2 feet long. They're a little bit too wide, but these are really easy just to cut with scissors. And that's why I got these. They're $1.25 each. And then these are the square ones that they had. They didn't have any other colors, so they only had this bright blue. So I got 5 of these to put under the house. So if the weather's nice tomorrow, maybe I'll do that. Oh my gosh. What? Are you kidding me? Hey, out! Out! Come on, out! He's going into... He just went into the lawnmower. Oh, there he goes. Out. I can't believe he came inside like that. So I'm out here by the trap and I just cut off a piece of this rug. It's super easy to cut with a pair of scissors and it does have these lines you could follow. So I'm just kind of measuring it against the trap, and then I'm gonna cut it down, and if I need to make it smaller, I could make it smaller, but I think this will be fine. And there it is. I just put it inside. It is like a perfect fit, so that's really good. Right now it is above the trip tray because this is the back door. But when I use it, it would be on that side, and it's small enough to fit so that it does not go over the trip tray. So yeah, that just saved me like $20 per mat. These cats are so funny because they're so nosy. So I came inside the garage to put the spare pieces of carpet away, and I look out the window and there's like 3 cats sniffing around. Look, you see? They're sniffing around. Are they gonna go in? There's Goldie. What I'd like to do is put a plate of food in there. It's not set to trap them, so it's not gonna catch any cats. Richard's on that chair. He wants to be alpha. And there's the 2 torties. They're really starting to get more comfortable around me, which is good. They're waiting for dinner. Look at this, guys. Look. I'm right near the table, and it's Richard. Hey, Richard. How are you? I'm so close. How are you, Richard? You hanging out? Don't worry. I'm not going to bother you. You're pretty. So tomorrow morning I half expect the majority of this straw to be on the ground outside of this shelter. I just put 2 platters of food underneath the feeding table. And there is Goldie coming to eat. And there's Richard. I think Richard's going to end up being a big cat just by the size of his paws. His paws are way bigger than the tortie's paws. And way bigger than Nancy's paws. And there's Nancy. I don't know where she's been. I also put a plate of dry food in the trap, so we'll see if anyone goes in there and eats the food. So it's 6:30 p.m. and there are 5 cats eating. I see the 2 torties, Richard, and it looks like Ringo and little Eva. And Nancy walked off the patio toward the driveway a minute or 2 ago. So I don't know where she went. And I don't know where Sammy is. So, but there's 5 eating, and look, they fit nicely under the table. The inside cats are eating their food. They're having homemade raw food for dinner with their favorite toppers. Boo's having Stella and Chewy's salmon and chicken. Stella's having the same topper. Simba is having the primal fish because it's sardines and anchovies. He likes that, but then he also wanted 2 or 3 dried sardines on his. And Splash is having some instinct raw bites on his, and I don't know why he didn't finish it and ran upstairs. I don't know why he did that. Look at this, look at this. It's 6:41. I just came upstairs to give Splash his food in the living room because that's where he is. And look, one of the torties walked into the trap. They're eating the food. This is what we want. We want them to be comfortable around the trap, so then when it's actually set, they'll go in it. When it's actually set, I will be putting like towels over it and making it more comfortable and secure. But right now, this is really what we want. We just want them to get comfortable around it. Yep. Someone's in it eating. Obviously, the minute it snaps shut and there's a cat caught in it, they're pretty much all going to freak out, I would think. So the 2 platters underneath the table are empty. So I'm going to put together some more food. They've been averaging maybe 3 platters a meal. Where's Goldie? There she is. She's stretching. For breakfast today, they had 3 platters. And they just had 2 platters. The food in the trap is like half gone. So there's the plate of crunchies in the trap. They ate some of them. It's about 8 a.m. And there's Goldie. I don't see any of the other cats around. I don't know where they are. I saw a few walk across the patio earlier this morning, but I don't know where they went. They could be having breakfast somewhere else, I don't know. But I put 2 platters of food out, so there's a can of wet food on each platter. It's the Trader Joe's turkey and giblets that the inside cats don't like. And unfortunately, it has been discontinued by Trader Joe's. And there are a bunch of crunchies on the plates. And I put some wellness chicken pate in the trap. It's one of Boo's favorites. And the other day, I put a paver on top of this table to try to straighten it out because it was quite warped. And it's getting straightened out now, so that's good. And there goes Goldie, she's gonna eat. It's quite chilly out. I would say maybe it's like 50 degrees out, maybe even in the high 40s. It's quite cold. And there's the shelter with the straw. And it looks like no one touched it overnight, which is good. It would be nice if the cats used it. They can use it if they want to, but I'm just happy that like raccoons or something didn't wreck it. I'm gonna see if I have some clear plastic for the doors, and I am in the process of getting some insulation for this. So over the next few days, I'll have the insulation. I'll be able to install it, and yeah, everything's moving forward. So look who we have here. It looks like Nancy's eating some food along with Ringo and little Eva. That's what it looks like from here. I could be wrong. Maybe one of them is Richard, but it looks like Eva. They look very hungry. So there's 4 cats eating. If they finish all that, I'll put another platter out. It's 8:10 a.m. Let's see what's going on outside. So it looks like they almost finished both plates of food. There's still some food on the plate on the right. And no one has touched the food in the trap. I put 1 more can of food outside. I mixed in some homemade salmon broth, and I split it up between the 2 platters along with some more crunchies, and then that will be it for the cats this morning. That's a good amount of food. So for 6 or 7 cats, it's 3 cans along with some dry food, and that seems to be a good amount. And when I went outside, little Eva was finishing off what was left on 1 platter, and then she ran to the back corner. I don't know if she's still there. Hopefully she'll come back and finish eating. It's 5 p.m. and there's the plate that's in the trap. So I took Boo's leftover breakfast and I put it outside in the trap a few hours ago. And I took out the plate that was in there, and I had to run to the post office just now before they closed. But before I left, maybe 10-15 minutes ago, I looked outside and little Richard was sitting by this trap. So I think he was the one that went in and ate the food, but it's a good sign. And also the plate was pushed farther back into the trap, so that's good also. It's 5:30 p.m. I just looked outside and look at this. That's little Richard. He's sleeping on the patio chair. I'm happy he's getting some good rest. I think he's been hanging out waiting for dinner to be served. But what I'm doing now is, like, I just started making some homemade raw food, so it's going to be at least a half hour before I put any food out for the cats. I'm going to let him sleep. Now is a good time for him to sleep before all the other critters come out for the evening. So this is the homemade raw food I just made for the outside cats, pretty much. The inside cats can eat it too. It's probably a little bit less than 10 pounds of food. And I just brought a platter of it outside. There's some crunchies on it too. And Richard jumped off the chair and then he hissed at me. That's what he does. Like, he gets a little bit afraid. So he hisses at me. And then I put the food down and he went straight over to eat it. So that's good. I'm going to put 1 more platter down and then I'm going to pack up the rest for the freezer and get the inside cats fed. It's 6:50 p.m. and look who's here. It's the all-white cat. I've never seen this cat come around during daylight. So right now the sun's just about to go down. I've only seen this cat on security camera footage from the middle of the night. Wow. It's very rare to see an all-white cat around here. I've kind of named this one Casper, just because every time I see it on the security camera footage, it almost looks like a ghost cat on the night vision. It's obviously not. It's a real cat. It's a big cat too. That's one thing I noticed on the security cameras. I was like, wow, that's a big cat. And even now, seeing the cat, it's a big cat. It's probably the size of the inside cats. Like right now, if one of the kittens was outside, you'd see that it's about twice the size of like Little Richard or Ringo or any of them. It's a really striking looking cat. And it's so nice and white, so it's obviously taking care of itself. I don't know where it's been eating. It does not look like it's starving. I don't know if it belongs to somebody. I mean, the only time I've ever seen it is in the middle of the night on the security camera footage. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing it with my own two eyes versus on a pre-recorded video. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, so the name Casper could be totally wrong, but that's fine. It's eating some food. I did put another small plate of food in the trap just to see if anyone would come back and eat. I think maybe like 3 or 4 of the kittens ate some of the food. I don't know where they went. I don't know where they've been going. I don't know. You know, I'm just putting food out to try to get them on a routine so I can try to get them spayed and neutered. I ordered certificates for the spay and neuters 2 days ago, and they have not arrived yet. I'm hoping that they arrive tomorrow or the next day, then I can make some appointments for next week. Even though we're supposed to get the rain from the hurricane in Florida, that's supposed to be here in a few days. So I might have to wait for the rain to pass. We're not supposed to get like a tropical storm or anything. We're just supposed to get a lot of rain from it. Anyway, this is the white cat that I've been seeing on the security camera footage. I don't think I've mentioned it in any of the previous videos, but now you see it also. It's 8 a.m. and the mornings are definitely getting colder. And I have a plate of bait here. So basically this is maybe 1/3 of a can of Trader Joe's turkey and giblets. I'm going to put the trap out. I'm going to put this in the trap. And then I'm going to get the rest of the food ready for the outside cats. So there's the trap with the food in it. It is not set. This is just practice. And what I found out this morning is that the traps I ordered the other day, they're not going to be ready for like 1 to 2 weeks. It says they'll be shipping in 1 to 2 weeks approximately. And then the shipping time takes about 3 days. So I'm not really happy about that. I mean, I might potentially not get those for another 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, this is not good. So Goldie walked past the trap to the side of the house, and here's Ringo. Is Ringo going to go in? Ringo's smelling the food. Is he going to go in? Oh, there's Goldie there. Are they going to go in? They're going to figure it out? They're smart cats. Maybe they'll figure it out. It does not look like anyone used the shelter with the straw in it. Okay, there she goes. There she goes. She's going to eat it. She doesn't trust it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for a little while. We'll see if they eat it. I'm going to get the inside cats taken care of, and then we'll be back. And then if they eat that, then I'll put more food out. So it's about 5 minutes later now. Ringo just went into the trap, smelled the food, came out of the trap, smelled the trap, and then now he's walking away. So I might have to use some pet remedy spray to attract the cats into the trap. So the trap was outside yesterday, and then the only difference is it went into the garage. And it was in the garage overnight, and then I just took it back out. So I just looked out the window and Nancy had her head in the trap. There's 3 cats, like, rubbing against this trap. Look at this. She's like, no, that's mine. I hope she eats it because she's skinny. She's one of the skinny ones. Her and Sammy are the skinniest right now. Look at this. So, they're warming up to it. Maybe if I put the plate closer to the door. Obviously, they're not starving, because if they were starving, they would go in. Wow. Little Eva just came flying through the patio. There's Richard. So yesterday afternoon, Richard ate out of the trap. Maybe he'll go eat from it. I don't know. Is he going to look at it? Is he going to smell it? Is he going to go in and eat it? He's like, what's that? See? He went in. They might not like the food. There's no crunchies on it. I just put some of the canned food. There's little Eva. I think the 2 of them were playing. It's 8:10 a.m. and I'm playing with the cats in the kitchen. Stella loves playing in the kitchen with this toy because of the way it slides around on the kitchen floor. And here's Splash. But look who's watching Splash. Look at this. You see Richard? Yeah. Richard came up to the door and he was watching Splash play. Is Splash going to talk to him? You going to talk to Richard? Hey Splash, there's Richard. Is anyone else out there? Splash likes to talk to the cats through the door. Someone's in the trap eating the food. I think it's one of the torties. It's hard to tell from here, but they pushed the plate all the way in. That's what happened yesterday when Richard ate in there. Ended up pushing the plate all the way in. So right now that would be a successful trap if the trap was set. So I am very hopeful that when I need to trap the first cat for the first appointment. Oh no, that's not a tortie. I think that's little Eva. There's Nancy. Nancy's walking around there. Yes, little Eva. Oh, look at that. Little Eva was in the trap eating the food. Good, because she's the small one. She needs to eat. Nancy needs to eat too. She's too thin. But they're not starving anymore, so that's good. Did she eat it all? I can't see because she pushed it. Yeah, it looks like she almost finished it all. It's 8:38 a.m. and I put 2 platters of food out. There's about 4 cats eating off those platters right now. I believe it's the 2 torties, Nancy and little Eva. So it's the 4 girls, if those are indeed all girls. And they're getting the homemade raw food with some crunchies on top. And they go straight for the homemade raw food. They really, really love it, which is good. So it's cheaper for me to make the homemade raw food that I give them than it is for me to buy cans of Friskies, for example. Typical supermarket brand cat food. So that's good, and I'm glad they really like it. The only issue with making the homemade raw food is that it is a bit time consuming, between making it and then the cleanup itself. So it easily takes more than an hour to make that. But if I only have to make it like twice a month, it's not that bad. Yesterday I made a smaller batch. They go through a pound a day if I only feed it to them for 1 meal. If I fed it to them for both meals, they'd be going through almost 2 pounds of food a day, and it would only last a few days. But if they only get fed 1 meal a day raw and then 1 meal a day canned, then it would last about a week. I don't know why I didn't buy more chicken than I bought. I usually make at least 15 pounds of food like at once. So next time I'll definitely go back to larger batches. But they really like it. It's the first thing they eat on these platters, and then they go back and they eat the dry food. It's about 12:30 p.m. and I just filled up the automatic feeder outside with dry cat food. and I just reprogrammed it. I reset the time, so the time is actually now accurate. For some reason it was 45 minutes slow. Now the time is correct, and I set it to dispense 1 cup of dry food at 7 a.m., a cup of dry food at 10 a.m., a cup of dry food at 2 p.m., and a cup of dry food at 5 p.m. So that'll dispense 4 cups of dry food. Hopefully that'll be enough for the cats throughout the day. It should be. I mean, that's 4 cups is like more than a half cup per cat if it's feeding 7 cats. So that should be fine. I need this to feed them tomorrow because I'm going to be gone for the whole day tomorrow. I'm leaving tonight at night, so they'll get dinner. I'll put out food for dinner. This is going to go off at 2 p.m. today and also at 5 p.m. So they'll have dry food out of here. That way I'll know it's working. And then tomorrow this is going to feed them, and then hopefully I should be back tomorrow night, and then we'll be back on a normal schedule the day after that. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna put this back on top, and I had 3 pavers, so I had 1 paver directly on the feeder, and then I had the wood on top of that, and then I had 2 more pavers on there because I think if I put the wood on here and then the 2 pavers, it might sink down, but maybe that's what I'll do. So I actually just put all 3 pavers on top. This wood seems pretty sturdy so far, so I think that'll be good. Hopefully the raccoons will not be able to move 3 of these pavers. I just put the table back, and hopefully this is all good to go. And look at what's going on here. I don't know if you could see it, but down here it actually looks like there might have been a cat laying here, like all curled up, because the straw definitely looks like it's been kind of pressed down in the front versus the back. So this is one of the vestibules for the cat shelter under the house, and I wanted to show you the door of it. So there's the door, and what I used for the door flaps on it is a quart size Ziploc bag, and there are 3 thumbtacks on top to hold the Ziploc bag on there, and it worked really, really well. I think that bag's been on there for 2 seasons now. It did not come off. It's fraying around the edges a little bit, but it definitely helped to keep some cold air out. The cats had no problem going in and out of this door with the door on it. So I'm gonna do something similar for the other doghouse shelter. So this one has a much larger door opening. And what I have here is the largest Ziploc bag from the Dollar Tree. This is a 2.5 gallon Ziploc bag. It's kind of wrinkled right now. I just took it out of the box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here also with thumbtacks, and it should help protect the inside from rain and potentially colder air at night also. If there were some cats in here and this door was here, it would definitely help keep their body heat in the shelter. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So there's the clear door on the shelter, and I have 5 thumbtacks going across the top. Obviously air is still getting inside of it, you know, through the sides. The cats can go in and out if they want to. I'm thinking of putting a slit down the middle to make it easier for them to go in and out. If I do a slit down the middle, I could probably also attach the sides and see how that goes. And remember, this is temporary. I could take it down and change it whenever I want to. This is really just an experiment at this time. And there we have it. It's looking really cozy. It came out really nice. There's a little bit of gapping like on the sides, but that's okay. It's not meant to be perfect. It's just meant to, you know, keep some heat in and break some wind and keep some rain out, and it'll definitely do that. We have to remember the roof does overhang by several inches, so that's good. And there is another door here on the back side, but it's much more sheltered because of where all the bushes are and everything. So, and I'm not going to put a clear flap on it at this time. I should also mention that the reason why I'm not using duct tape for this is because when I've tried to use duct tape on doors in the past, it hasn't really held very well. It'll hold for a little while, but then it comes off, and then it just needs to be redone. But with the thumbtacks, it definitely works a lot better. It's about 1 p.m. Here's Simba, and I'm really excited because I just got the mail and my certificates came from the rescue group. So I was able to call the local vet and make the first spay-neuter appointment. I have to drop them off at 8 a.m. and they're supposed to be fasted for 12 hours before the surgery. So that means I am going to try to trap one of them around dinner time the night before. And I have not figured out where I'm going to put them yet. If I'm going to bring them into Boo's room, I have to check out what the weather's going to be. Is it going to be warm enough to keep them in the greenhouse or the garage? I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I have 4 days to figure that out, and I have a lot to do just with regards to other things that need to get done before that. It's 4:45 p.m. I just took a toy out of the garage, and I think Richard will play with me. So here's Richard, and let me tell you what was going on. Oh, here comes Nancy. The two of them have been all buddy-buddy today. Here's Nancy. So let me tell you what happened. So I came out to check on the automatic feeder to make sure it was dispensing food, and it was not dispensing food. So I had to take all the pavers off and open it up, and it had an error message. It was F01, which is error message number 1, which I've had before. And that means that there was like a jam. Oh, look at this. Look at this, they're playing. So there was a jam, and I had to take all the food out, and while I was taking the food out, Nancy came like walking right up there. So I gave her some food on the patio, and then next thing you know, Richard came out, and the two of them were eating food there while I was fixing the automatic feeder here. It seems to be fixed because it did then dispense some food. So they've been kind of snacking on some food, and I was taking care of some other things around the patio, and Richard was watching me the whole time, like he was really curious and interested. So I was like, okay, maybe he'll play with me. So I went in the garage and I found one of the toys that I had in the garage, and I took it out, and he was interested in it. Like, maybe he knows how to play because, you know, he has brothers and sisters, so maybe he knows how to play. So I'm gonna see if I can play with him. Look at this, look, look. He's coming toward it. He's not running. Look, look, look. Sorry to hit you on the head. Oh my God, he's gonna play, look. I'm really excited because, oh no, oh no. He took the toy. Am I gonna be able to get it out? He's pulling it. Okay. All right. I got it back. I got it back. So he must really think it's a bird. What I was saying was that I'm really happy he's playing because Hydrox and Ditto didn't know how to play. There he is. He's back under the fence. He probably doesn't understand it's a toy, and he thinks it's a real bird. See him? There's a bunch of bugs. There's all kinds of bugs flying around back here. I don't know how these cats deal with all these bugs. Alright, so I'm coming back on the patio. There's too many bugs back there. He's smelling. You see him there? He blends in with the dirt. One thing I've realized is that tabby cats blend in with the dirt. That's why they're good hunters. Tabby cats blend in with dirt, so they're really good hunters. And black cats blend in with the night, so they're really good at, you know, prowling around at night. I just went inside to put a new battery in the camera. There goes Ringo. I gotta hold this tight because he's gonna steal it again. See? He wants to take it. So they must have some kind of den or something back there. The way he ran off with it is exactly how like Stella, Splash, and Simba used to run off with their prey. Like if they killed a bird, that's exactly what they would do. They would run under the fence and take it wherever their home was. So I'm really curious to see where that is. But there's no way I could follow them. Ringo's watching from the back, you see him? He's getting scared. He's gonna pluck the feathers. He's a strong cat. You know, these cats have to be good hunters for them to be able to survive how they did. He's like, what is this? Look how he's laying. I made sure I had a tight grip on it that time. Oh, is it gonna come out and play? These bugs are driving me crazy. Get away, bugs. It broke. It broke. It broke. So it didn't break, it just unscrewed. This is one of those wands that like screws together in the middle. He thinks he's going to take it with him. Let's see if he follows me to the patio. Is he going to follow me here? He's walking in the grass. Here comes Ziggy. Here comes Ziggy. She wants to know what's going on. She's growling. See her? Just saying, what's going on here? Little Eva's making her way over. You see Eva? You see her coming up? She's looking like, what's going on? I think I see another one in the background. Right now there's three kind of looking at the toy. Here she comes. There's 5 cats right now. The feeder just dispensed food. There's 2 in the back by the fence, and then there's these 3 here. I have Richard, Ziggy, and Eva, and then in the back is Ringo and Goldie. Oh, Sammy's in the back. I got 6 cats. Little Eva got big paws too. She's gonna be bigger. I'm getting bit up by bugs. So there's Richard. There's Eva. She's eating some dry food. There's Ringo. And then there's Ziggy and Goldie, if I keep that name. And then, I don't know where Sammy went, but he was back there before. There's Sammy. He reminds me of Boo, like afraid of everything. But probably a thug. That's Ringo, behind Ziggy. Ringo's pretty. What a handsome boy you are, Ringo. And Ziggy's pretty too. They keep trying to run away with the bird. They've probably never seen this kind of toy before, ever. You see Sammy? There's Sammy. I think I have all 7 cats here right now. There's Richard. There's Ziggy and Ringo. There's little Eva. And there's Goldie. And then there's Sammy. Well, that's 6. We're missing Nancy. Where's Nancy? Where did Nancy go? What are you guys up to? What are you guys doing? That's Miss Little Eva. Hello, Little Eva. She's the smallest one. She's smaller than Richard. Little Richard's small, but Little Eva's even smaller. She's like a torty tabby. Get out of her butt, Ringo. Ringo, get out of her butt. Look at the colors on Little Eva's fur. She's like a classic tabby, but then she also has some of the torty colors on her. These are such pretty cats. I hope they can be socialized, and I hope that they can find good homes. I really hope that can happen. Nope, not taking it. I need my little stool. I need something to like sit on. But if I move and go outside, these cats are not going to stay here. So I'm trying to touch their paws with the wand because it's good initial contact. Right there, buddy. I would like to be able to pet them with the wand. Like, not poke them, but just pet them gently with the wand. If they let me, but, you know, that would be amazing progress just for one day. Here we go. He's biting it. Remember, when you're dealing with feral cats, they're not like inside cats that'll smell something first. A lot of times they'll just swat at it first and attack it. Remember, feral cats have never been touched by a human. So you don't want to, rush up to them and try to pet them, or you don't want to put your hands near where they might bite or swat. You want to keep a good distance. That's why using a stick like this. See, he's letting me pet him. He's letting me pet him with the stick. And also remember that I've been feeding these cats for weeks now. So it's not like these cats don't know me. They're actually waiting for their dinner right now. I'm trying to get it off you. Okay, there you go. Richard is definitely a male. Ringo is quite a bit bigger than Richard. There's a lot of gnats flying around Ziggy. He thought he was going to run away with it. That's not going to happen. I want to try to swat some of the gnats away from her. I hope she's okay. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get some food for the cats because I'm supposed to be on a schedule today and I did not plan to spend 45 minutes playing with the kittens. Okay, good job guys, good job. We'll play more next time, okay? It's 5:45 p.m. I put 2 platters of food out and so far Richard and Ziggy have been eating. And I put a plate of raw chicken thigh meat in the trap. That's probably like 1/3 of a thigh. I just want to see if they'll go in and eat it. Someone ate the other food to the empty plate. That was Stella's leftover breakfast. So someone at some point went in there and ate it. So we'll see if they'll go in and eat the pieces of chicken thigh. It is 10:15 a.m. I slept in today and it's been raining all morning. And I looked outside and I saw some cats eating out of the feeder. So the automatic feeder has been working really good. They've been eating out of it without any issues. At night, it does attract more critters that try to eat the food. But it looks like the feeding schedule that I had programmed in the feeder was good. So it was a cup of food at 7 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. And that looks like it's working out well because it doesn't leave a whole lot of food in the feeder for critters to get at night. I got home probably around 10:30 p.m. last night, and I noticed Richard was sitting near the feeding table, so I ended up putting some more dry food out for him. I didn't want to put wet food out because it's stinkier and it'll attract more critters. So I put some dry food out, and then a few more cats came out, so I ended up putting like a platter of dry food and another plate of dry food, and they ate that. So they had a snack last night, and then this morning I looked at the security camera footage and they ate at the 7 a.m. feeding, they ate at the 10 a.m. feeding, and I just put 2 platters of wet food out, and the second platter has some dry food on it. And it's just some cans of the Wholehearted kitten pate, except it's actually left over from when Ditto was here because I was trying to get as much nutrition into him as possible, and I wanted the most calorie dense food. So for a while I was feeding him kitten food. And so that's why I have the leftover cans. I figure let me put it out for these cats. The plan for today is to start getting ready for Monday. Monday evening is trapping time. The vet wants me to hold the cat in the trap overnight so that they're fasted. So the biggest issue I'm dealing with is rain, because we're supposed to have like rain now through Tuesday or Wednesday. Hopefully it'll be like today where it's, you know, not constantly raining and it's not a downpour. It's just like raining now and then. So we'll see what happens with that. The other thing that I noticed overnight on the security camera footage is that someone used the shelter with the straw in it. I don't know if they were actually in the shelter for a while. I just saw one of the torties come out of it. There's no footage of a cat going into the shelter, so it could be that they just like went into the back of the shelter and then ran out the front of the shelter. Yeah, there's no footage of cats going in and out. There's only footage of a cat coming out. So that's interesting. And I do have all of my installation pieces that I need to insulate the shelter with, but I have to do that on a dry day, so I have to wait for the first dry day. So yeah, so for the next 3 days, I have a lot of preparing to do. I have to get Boo's room prepared, which means I need to take at least 2 pieces of furniture out of it to make room for the trap, and so the cats have everything that they need. Like there's that piece of furniture with a litter box that is to come out. So the other cats have an upstairs litter box, and I need to make sure I have plenty of room in my car right now. My car's a mess. There's so much stuff in it because of all the things that have been going on. So I have to empty that out. I have a lot to do within the next 3 days. So anyway, the cats are fed and plan is in motion. It's 11:43 a.m. I just opened up my front door and saw this. So this has to be one of the trap kits because I didn't order anything that would be this big other than that. And when I spoke to them on the phone, they told me that I would get it on Monday. Today is Saturday, so it arrived early. I need to now go outside and take this around the house to the garage because it's just going to continue to get rained on. So what I'm not very happy about is the fact that when this was delivered, no one bothered to ring the doorbell or even knock on the door or anything to let me know that it was here. They just dumped it on a rainy day because this was not here last night. They dumped it on a rainy day and they did not even let me know. I did not get an email, nothing, and this was FedEx. Here's Boo, he's hanging out in his room. I had a talk with Boo this morning about what's gonna be happening with his room for a while. And I'm gonna have a few more talks with him before events start happening. I took the box around to the garage. So later today, I'm gonna go out in the garage and open it up and make sure it's what I ordered. And then I'll probably bring a few pieces inside here. I could already bring in the cage and the connector. And the trap I don't need to use because it will, the cage and connector will connect to the current trap that I have. And I also just bought another one of the same one. So we'll see how that goes. And Boo's gonna get ready. So this side of the room has been my work area and it's been working out wonderfully. It's been really nice. And I bring my laptop onto this desk and I work here. And right now my laptop is still in my bag because I took it on my overnight trip and I was using it yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ottoman out of the room. That's what I did for Ditto. And I'm going to take this piece out of the room, this vinyl cabinet, and then like the stereo and VCR and record player on top. I've been using these to digitize old vinyl and old VHS tapes. And I'll just move these out. I have to figure out where those are going to go. So this space will be empty. I'm going to move this out and then I'll have all the room under the desk and even like here to put the trap because it's a 36-inch trap. And then there's the connecting cage. So it should all fit under here. And when Ditto first came into this room, I had the larger recovery cage under the desk. And it was okay. I covered the sides with like blankets and towels so he would feel safer. And I'm planning to do the same with the trap, just put some sheets over it or something like that. I just want to clear out enough room here to easily put the trap. And then if I needed to put another trap, I can then obviously put another trap here next to it, parallel. Okay, Boo. So I'm going to continue the conversation that you and I had earlier, where I was telling you that we're going to have to make room in here for other cats, okay? Because they're going to have some operations, okay? They're going to go to the doctor and they're going to have an operation like you had. Boo, when you lived outside and someone put you in a trap and then they took you to have an operation, right? You were neutered. And that's what we're going to do for the outside cats. Because they're young, they're kittens, and if we want them to have a good life and a good home someday, we're going to have to make sure that they get spayed and neutered, right, Boo? Because that's what people want. If they adopt a cat, they want the cat to be spayed and neutered, right, Boo? You went through it, Stella went through it, Splash went through it, Simba went through it, all the cats, all the happy house cats went through it, and you're happy now, right? So we have to help other cats, Boo. We have to help other cats, okay? We have to help give them a better life, and that's what we're going to do, okay, Boo? We are going to make some room in this room to help other cats. And I know you're really good at doing that, Boo. You helped Ditto twice. You helped Ditto twice, Boo. You let him have this room to recover from his injury, and then you let him have this room when he was very, very sick. And that was so nice of you, Boo. And I know you love your room and you're happy to have it back. And I know you love your day sofa and you love laying on it. But I know that you're also very concerned about the well-being of other cats. So that's what we're gonna do, Boo, okay? It might be a few weeks, it might be a few months. You understand? I know, you're not happy about that. I know you're not happy about that. But we'll get through it, okay? We'll get through it. You'll get through it. Today is my day to change all the bedding on the bed from summer bedding to winter bedding. And this is what's going on. Simba has decided that he's just going to make himself as comfortable as possible. And that way I can't change any of the bedding yet. These are 3 of the automatic feeders that were set for the cats to feed them their meals yesterday and this morning. So they had breakfast and dinner yesterday out of the feeders and breakfast this morning. For some reason, the feeder on the left is 1 meal behind. I don't know why. Maybe it misfired for one of the meals. But notice how many crunchies are still in this feeder. So while I was away, their meals were supposed to be crunchies and some freeze-dried food on top. And it looks like they ate the freeze-dried food on top, or most of it. You can see there's still some freeze-dried nuggets on the left. And they did not eat the crunchies, which is completely surprising because they usually really like crunchies. When I say crunchies, I mean dry cat food. This is the dry cat food that I put in the feeders. This is Stella and Chewy's freeze-dried raw coated kibble. Boo is smelling it. This is cage-free chicken recipe for cats, grain-free. And before I left, I gave each of the cats a little bit of this to try, and they all ate it. So I thought, okay, well, they must like it. They ate some of it. I'll put it in their feeders because I was all out of the other crunchies that they've been eating. And the brand that they've been eating has been discontinued. So I have to go buy them some other crunchies that I know they eat. So anyway, this is what I used in the feeders. And as we could see, they refused to eat it. When I got home yesterday, here's Stella right now, and here's Boo. So when I got home yesterday, the cats were really craving attention, and usually they do that when they're hungry. And that's when I checked the feeders and saw that they did not really eat any of their food. So what I then had to do was open up a can of food and give them some of that, along with a few other crunchies that they like better because they usually have some dry cat food as a nighttime snack. So it's really disappointing that they don't like these crunchies. I was very hopeful for these. This is what they look like. They are a dark brown color. They're actually quite small, which is nice. And the other thing that I liked about them is that they don't have a bad smell to them. Sometimes dry cat food, it has almost like a chemical odor to it, which I'm not a fan of, but these don't have that. These smell kind of generic or kind of meaty, if that makes any sense. So that's why I was really hopeful for these, but the cats don't like them. But I'm definitely not wasting any of this food, so what I'm gonna do is put it aside and I'll feed it to the outside cats, and hopefully they'll eat it also. It'll be interesting to see if they refuse it too. So far, the outside cats have not been very fussy. They pretty much like anything that I put out for them. They're very thankful and appreciative to have any kind of food. It's about 4:30 p.m. right now. I just came outside to turn off the automatic feeder. I see there's still some dry food in the bowl of the feeder from the last feeding. The next feeding will go off at 5 p.m., but I don't want it to do that. Also, I noticed that the table has warped again. So one day of rain and the table is warped again after I had it straightened out, but that's fine. The reason I'm shutting off the automatic feeder is because I don't want to attract wildlife at night to come and eat out of the feeder. I just don't need issues with that. I looked at the security camera last night and the fox did not come around last night, which is good. It did come around the night before, which I wasn't too happy with. It's not looking well at all. So the goal is just to try to keep the cats out of trouble. The other goal is to obviously control the food, because in order for me to get one of them into a trap in a few days, I'm gonna have to make sure that they're good and hungry. Okay, I just turned it off. It's really easy to do. I just have to put it on pause, which is what I did. And I took off the papers and the wood, and what I realized is I could probably put like a tarp over this, or maybe some clear plastic. I want to go to the Dollar Tree and get more of the clear shower curtain liners. Hopefully they still sell those. And maybe I'll just like wrap that up and that'll help it when the weather's wet. And I was thinking of doing maybe something like that with the table, maybe wrapping plastic around. You know how you can kind of upholster things by putting fabric or plastic on and then wrapping it under and then like stapling it around? That might help to keep water out of this top piece of wood. Even though that's deck paint on there, so it should be pretty waterproof. I just put fresh water in both of the water bowls out here. And I have an audience, so here's Stella and Boo's on the step, so they've been watching me. I'm in the garage and I just opened the box that arrived today. So the cardboard is mostly dried out, but it does become weaker after it's been wet. And I'm gonna take everything out. To me, this looks like it's 2 traps. This is not the pieces that I was hoping for. Oh no. So I was expecting this to be one whole set, which would have been a trap and then the 2 extension pieces, but it's not. It's just the 2 traps. I'm glad I opened it, and I'm glad I didn't wait until Monday, because now I need to figure out a plan in case that other box does not get here when it's supposed to in 2 days, the day before the appointment. So ugh, not happy. This is one of the traps. I just took it out of the box, and this bottom is a little bit bent. I could probably maybe hammer that back into shape. I don't know if you could see it, but this bottom piece is like bulging out. I think if this gets hammered back in, then it should straighten everything out. So here are the traps. This is the one that I had. This is the one that I've used on Ditto before. This is the one I bought for Hydrox and Ditto in case there were issues and I needed to bring them to a vet. These are the 2 new ones. They're all identical, which is good. So I have 3, and I can use them if I need to use them. If I need to lend them to somebody, I could lend them to somebody. And if I don't need them anymore, I could always donate them to a local rescue group. So I figured I might as well have them. Originally, I was only going to get 1 other trap and then the accessories to go with the one that I have and then the other one. But buying the whole set ended up being cheaper than buying the individual pieces. So it ends up that I actually got this trap for about half the price that it would normally be. And I was like, all right, well, I'd rather spend the money on the trap than spend the money on shipping, because these came with free shipping when you bought the set together. So it was basically just a bunch of calculations to see what was the best value. And these also came with these dividing forks. So there's like one here and one I put in to this trap. I've been researching online, and people say you want to use 2 of them, because a cat, if he's strong enough or fast enough, might be able to get through one of them. But then other people say you just need to put it sideways instead of up and down. So I already had one, and then I got 2 more. So now I have a total of 3. So these are used to keep the cat in like one half of the trap. So you can open up the other half and clean it, change the water, do whatever you need to do. And the cat's not going to escape or, you know, get mad at you or anything. So yeah, the only other pieces I need are the connector piece that attaches here, and then there's like another cage extension that you can put a litter box in, and it gives the cat more room. Another thing I wanted to do today was measure the litter boxes and the water and food bowls to see if they will fit. So this is a litter box that I bought when Ditto was inside. I was trying to find small litter boxes to put in his crate. This is one of the small ones. This was not used, or maybe he did use one and this is an extra one. But this one should be small enough to fit into the cage extension that comes with these traps. See how perfectly it fits in this trap? Like the width is perfect, and the width of the attachment is supposed to be the same exact width. And the attachment is a little bit longer than this. So that's why I'm really hoping the attachments get here, because the cat would have this entire trap, 36 inches, it's about 12 inches high, it's a decent amount of space. Then there'd be a few inches, and then the litter would be here. So that would be a good setup. And I got this one from Petco. Maybe I'll go get another one just to have it. Obviously, width-wise, it doesn't fit. Otherwise, if I don't get the extension, people have been saying that they just use thick newspaper in the bottom, and then the cat will like tear up the newspaper and kind of use it like kitty litter. It's a lot messier to do it that way, so that's why I'm really hoping I get the extensions. And then these are not going to fit. I was hoping that these would fit like two across here, so like at the other end I could put like water and food together and just kind of have these take up as little space as necessary. I mean, I guess I could always put them that way, but I don't need to. I think I'm gonna go to the Dollar Tree and see what they have as far as maybe little plastic containers that I could use instead of these bowls. Again, these are leftover from Ditto. It's 5 p.m. I was hoping I could finally change the bedding, and now there's 2 cats on the bed. I just brought one of the new traps inside so I can get a feel for the size of it, and it fits nicely under the desk, especially when I move out that shelving unit and then this other piece to the left of it. So with the extension, it should be good. There's Boo. Hopefully Boo will be okay. Right now, with having the trap here, it might bring back bad memories for him though. He's gonna smell it. I also just got back from Petco, which had nothing, and the Dollar Tree. And I bought a bunch of stuff at the Dollar Tree. So they had this plastic container, which I thought could be a good size for a small litter box in the cage that attaches. And look at that. It's a perfect fit. So for $1.25, this should be a perfect fit for a litter box in the extension cage. And it's way cheaper than buying a kitten-sized litter box in Petco. And Petco did not even have any kitten-sized litter boxes today. And I was like, I don't really feel like running around in this horrible weather. So when I saw this in Dollar Tree and I measured it, I was like, yeah, that could work. And it can work. I got one of their cheap litter scoops. This was the last one that they had there. So I always like to have a fresh litter scoop. I don't like to use the litter scoops that I use for the other cats. I like to keep a separate scoop. That's what I did when Ditto was inside. So that's why I got this. I figured I only need a light duty one. And then they had these ceramic bowls. They're like ceramic ramekins. These ones say grateful. They had different designs for fall. And I measured these, and each one is a little bit less than 5 inches. So I'm hoping these will fit in a trap. And there we go. They are a perfect fit. So if I want to use these, I can use these. I figured they're ceramic, so they're going to be heavier than plastic, and they're going to be harder for a cat to knock over and make a mess with. But they also had these plastic containers, and these have 2 compartments. So I figured I could put water on one side and food on the other side. And those are also a really good fit. But you can see that this container is a bit wider than these are. So I'm trying to find what can maximize the space in here. And they had these plastic containers, which I measured, and also those should be a good fit too. They're pretty much the same size as these ceramic ones, but they're plastic. I was thinking this would be good for water. Maybe it's a little bit too deep for food. The bottoms of the ceramic ones are a little higher up. So these, even though they're a little bit taller, they seem like they're not as deep as these are. And I bought some of these shower curtain liners. I got the white. They had clear or white, so I got these. I'm thinking maybe I could even cut these down and put these on the floor underneath the trap, just in case there's any leakage from the trap, like if a cat decides to use it as a litter box or dump over water or something. I want to put something that's like water resistant underneath it. So I got 3 of these. They're $1.25 each. Everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25. And then in their party section, I found these plastic bowls, and then these smaller plastic bowls and these little plates. These are the smallest plastic plates they had in the entire store, and these are 5.75 inches. So I was thinking if I use one of these plates, I could use like a small bowl, and that should fit. Look who wants to see what's going on. Stella wants to see what's going on. You gonna go in there? Gonna go in there, Stella? Nope. Stella's never been in a trap. Either have Splash or Simba. Here's Simba. They're like, what's going on? Simba gonna go in? Oh, Simba went under the day sofa. There's Simba. There's Stella. What you doing, Stella? They're smelling everything. This is not the trap that I've used with the cats outside. This is one of the brand new ones, so it's never had any of the other cats in it. I just brought another can of food out, so I put 2 platters of food out, each with a can of food and some crunchies, and then I just opened another can of food. I split it between these 2 plates, and Ziggy was laying in here, right here. She was laying right here next to this shelter. This shelter is open. She can use it if she wants to, and this shelter looks a little bit different than it did before as far as all the straw in front of it and what's hanging out from the door. So I'm going to check the security camera later to see if anyone actually used this. So here's Ziggy right now. I think she might go and eat once I go inside. She reminds me so much of Splash, and not just because of the coloring on her face. She's just very much like Splash with the way she's very skittish. Like Splash is very skittish, and she has like a worried look on her face, in her eyes. And Splash sometimes has that same worried look in his eyes, so she reminds me of Splash. And look what's going on here, it's Goldie. It's hard to see her, she's just hanging out there. Maybe she's gonna go eat too. I'm gonna go inside. It's 8:51 a.m. I got a bit of a late start today. I put 2 platters of food out. This is homemade raw food with some crunchies. And there's Richard and little Eva, and they should come by and eat once I go inside. And I looked at the security camera footage last night, and I saw a raccoon go in and come out. They didn't hang out in here, but they did go in and check it out and then come back out. It's about 1 p.m. right now, and I just happened to be looking out of one of the front windows, and I saw that the FedEx truck pulled up. And look at this. This is from the trap company. I'm hoping it's the cages and the connectors. That would be absolutely perfect if it was, because it would mean it's here early. So I just got the box open, and this is what's going on inside. I'm going to take these out. It looks like the connectors are actually inside these cages. So here are the 2 traps, and these are the 2 cages, 1 cage, 2 cage. And I'm going to bring one of these cages inside so we can see how it connects to the trap. You can see that the extension cages are a little bit longer than half of the size of a trap. I don't know exactly how long they are, but it'll be a nice addition to the length. So you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. So the litter box would be in here. There'd be the extension connector here. And then the cat would have this entire area to relax and recuperate in, and I'd probably put the food and water more toward this end. We'll see how it goes. I think I hear a cricket in here. Yeah, I hear a cricket in here. That's weird. Let's hope that's good luck. It's 5:30 p.m. and I put 2 platters of food out for the cats. It's homemade raw food with some crunchies on it. And the other 2 platters still have the Stella and Chewy's crunchies on them. So it looks like the outside cats don't even like these Stella and Chewy's crunchies. That's not good. So my neighbors a few houses down are having some kind of party or gathering, and it sounds like they have a DJ. It's like really loud music along with like an MC, someone's MCing it. So the reason why I'm not happy about my neighbors having a party and all the noise is because it's throwing the cats off of their schedule and off their routine. You could see that 2 of them came by for dinner and there's still a lot of food there. I don't know where the rest of them went. I need to trap one of them tomorrow. So I have like 24 hours. 24 hours from now, I need to trap one of them, and I need them to be on their routine, not off their routine. So this is why I'm not happy about this really loud DJ or whatever it is. It's 6:45 p.m. and the music is louder than it's been all day, and they've been playing merengues, which, you know, are really up-tempo pieces of music, and the cats are probably all freaked out. So I hope they come back later, and I hope tomorrow's a normal day for them. It's about 7 p.m. and I need to start rearranging this house. I was going to do it earlier today, but I had other things to do. Like, I've been pretty much working at home all day today. Hopefully I could get this done within an hour or two and then still have some time to relax tonight. So this unit, this litter box unit has to leave. It's going to go in another room. That's what I did when Ditto moved in. This gets moved out. So the other cats have an upstairs litter box just in case the door to the downstairs gets shut for some reason, or if I'm away and the door gets shut by accident or something, they will always have a litter box up here. This ottoman has to go. That's an easy move. And all this stuff has to go. I have no idea where I'm putting this stuff yet. I got to figure everything out. So this is what the room is looking like right now, and this is the plan for the trap. So this part is the trap, and this part is like the connector piece, and this is the extension cage, and I think I'm going to use this plastic container as the litter box, and I'm going to put some newspaper in here also, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do in the trap tomorrow. I'm thinking of putting the rug that I had on the bottom and then some newspapers on top of that, and then a wee-wee pad on top of that in case the cat does not use the litter box. Maybe I'll also put a wee-wee pad underneath the litter box. I have to go buy more of those training pads tomorrow. I have to go to the pet store and buy those. I need to get some more dry cat food. There's a few other things that I need to pick up, but this works. With the extension cage, I feel like it's a decent amount of space for the cat to relax and recover in. And how the connection works is it's this piece and it just slides in there and it slides right back out. So this is where a door would slide in here and a door would slide in here. And obviously before you do this, you put the, they're like those big forks that will keep the cat in this one before you open up the doors. And then this just slides right back in. Let's see if I could do it with one hand while the other's holding a camera. There we go, it's really easy. So I'm really happy that the extension pieces came today. It was perfect timing. On the floor here, so I have a shower curtain liner on the floor. I actually cut it in half because it was quite large. And then I have 2 towels, just in case there's an accident or something, the towel will absorb moisture. And then I have the shower curtain liner to just keep the moisture from getting onto the floor below. I'm just gonna hope for the best and see what happens. I have no idea which cat I'm gonna be able to trap tomorrow. There's 7 of them. I have no idea. And I've been telling the other cats, I've been telling the inside cats that they're gonna have a house guest. So none of them will be allowed in this room with the trap here. I'm gonna keep the door shut at all times like I always do. If one should happen to come in, there's no real issues because the cat will be in the trap or the cage. and I'll be able to shoo them out easily. And they're, to be honest, they're going to be so freaked out that they're probably going to stay away from the door to begin with. My main concern is keeping the cat inside the trap as calm as possible, and so they're not howling and meowing all night, because that will disturb the entire house. And my other concern is having 2 cats in the trap, because they stick together so much. I'm hoping that more than one don't go into the trap, and then there's 2 in the trap. If someone goes in the trap to eat and then there's some others near the edge of the trap, that could be an issue. So I might have to keep an eye on the trap the entire time, just to make sure that it's not going to be more than 1 cat, and that no one's going to be near the triggering mechanism and get hit by it. Yesterday I also bought some fabric to cover the trap with. This is just thin cotton material, similar to what sheets are made out of. So I bought brown, and then I also bought like a dark green. I wanted to buy nature colors, so I figured brown's like dirt outside and the green is like the shrubs and the trees outside. So I thought maybe it would help keep the cats calm. Here's Boo. He walked in, he took a look at the traps, and he's like, I'm not staying in here. He's really been freaked out. Boo has really been freaked out once the traps came inside. He doesn't like seeing them. He doesn't like being reminded of them. Here's the fabric covering the trap. There's plenty of fabric. It's actually a little bit longer. What I might do is I might cut one piece shorter, so the piece will fit the trap, and then the other piece will fit the cage, and I could always overlap them and maybe just leave it open a little bit where the connector is, so the cat can get a little bit of light, versus just being in almost total darkness. The other thing is, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get rid of this. This stinks so bad. The shower curtain liner smells really, really bad. So what I'm going to put down instead are training pads. I might still have a few training pads downstairs, so I could set that up now. I'm basically trying to set up as much as I can today, so tomorrow I won't be rushing around. I won't be stressed out. I just want to be as relaxed as possible tomorrow. Okay, this is much better now. I have the training pads on the floor. I think I used like 4 of them, and the towels on top of those. But now I'm thinking maybe I should put the training pads on top of the towels. That's how I had it with Ditto. I had towels on the floor and I had training pads on top of the towels. That would probably be a better thing to do, because it's easier just to take up the training pads than to take up the towels and the training pads. Okay, here we go. Hopefully this is it. I got the towels on the floor. I got the training pads on top of the towels. It fits the trap, the extension, and the extension cage. So yeah, hopefully that's good. I got the covers tomorrow. This is one of the new traps. I'm going to use the trap that I've been using for the cats, the one that they've been eating out of. So this one's going to go in the garage. I'm going to swap it out to another one, which is the same exact size. I'll put some stuff on the bottom of it tomorrow, so that'll be ready. And I'll get this one ready with litter and more training pads. And I'll go to the pet store, and I just need to clean off everything that's on top of this desk and just make room for any supplies that I'll be needing. It's 9 p.m. and this room is finally done. So I was able to clear off the top of the desk, and then I have all the various little bowls or plates and paper towels, wipes. Here comes Stella. She's going to check it out. She's going to approve it. Do you approve of it, Stella? I had to move around a bunch of other stuff that was in the room. The rest of the house is a disaster, but I'll get to it tomorrow. Okay, Stella? I'm going to leave this room open tonight, so the cats can come in if they want to, like what Stella's doing right now, so they know something's going on. Boo is really going to miss looking out of these windows because he looks out of these windows like every day and every night, so. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.